By forces they do not know they are heard. By forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill.
Quick, say something disturbing.
Haha.
Sorry.
The way we start our sessions off, as always.
I'm disturbed.
Howdy, everybody. My name is Corey. I am your Dungeon Master here with Everybody's a Mimic. We are an actual play 5th edition podcast playing Rime of the Frostmaiden. Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. I am joined by a full group of adventurers this week around. We have first up on the block Bitte Yetimated Thun Kalaga, played by
Carson.
Excellent. And then following up with that, we have Del Nadre Miracos, played by
That's played by me. I'm Blake. Hi. I'm Blake.
Levi Corvallis, who missed us last session but is back again, is played by
I sure did, and I'm Ben. Nice to meet you guys, and I love you.
He loves you. And finally, Rosemary Bone Crusher, the adorable compatriot in our group.
6 foot tall, adorable.
Yeah.
Played by Ray.
Played by Ray. With a name of Bone Crusher. Easily the most passive member of our party, but the most intimidating on paper. And we make up Everybody's Mimic. Welcome. We're happy to have you guys here on another one of our wonderful sessions in this we're coming up on almost another year of playing this session, and hopefully not another winter storm here in Texas.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, now you've gone and cursed it. Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
There was a winter weather watch which made me cancel my plans this weekend, so
Well, that's this weekend is a winter weather march?
there was one on like Thursday.
Okay.
They were saying it was gonna sleet, but anyway, it didn't.
Anyway,
so we all
good.
still have power.
Woo! All right. Okay. Oh snap! Oh no! Oh no!
Are you okay?
No, the stream is showing Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh.
And now it's showing. Okay, there it goes. Excellent. I had
Copyrights. We're gonna get taken down.
Is Shakespeare still copyrighted? I thought that was in the free domain by now.
It depends on which Much Ado About Nothing. You know, if it's like a remake that someone has created recently, or like a stage production that's currently ongoing.
Oh goodness.
Anyway.
Credit the source, Corey.
I have to reopen it back up now.
No.
I'm not going to. I fixed it. It's always very confusing whenever I first open it.
We here at the All of Us Mimics don't actually own Much Ado About Nothing. That's someone else's.
We do.
Thank
we do
you.
not open that. We do not. We don't. Man, where was that?
We do not own it.
We do not own it. I need to look at my.
We do not.
Anyways, that's another thing. Well, let us give you guys a quick recap of what happened the last session. We played through the ambush that a party came under after leaving the Tourmaline mine with kobolds in tow and more information to uncover the nefarious plot to overthrow the speaker there in Tourmaline. The party was was attacked by some thugs and scouts who called themselves the Stepwell Gang. And although they were quickly defeated, they did deal a little bit of damage to the party and were able to take out a few of the kobolds. There was some information gleaned from these thugs in determining that a mysterious individual had hired them to help support the miners and just act intimidating around town. They gave the name of Boomy, a recurring character that we have seen in the tavern in Tourmaline and outside of the mine when Levi punched the miner in the face and broke his nose. Although some of the kobolds died, Trex did not. However, he did run away from the combat, and as they were making their way on their way back to Tourmaline, they discovered that his tracks disappeared mid-path.
Tracks disappeared mid-trek.
Yeah, we left. The party let go of a couple of the thugs they had captured and surrendered, but brought one of them along, the most injured one, the one that was in most needing of medical attention, back to town to turn into the brig at the town speaker's hall. After searching the town, they found the speaker at the town speaker's hall in his speaker residence, which is attached to the back. They deposited their kobolds back in the inn, which now houses 4 dogs, 3 capybaras, and 3 kobolds. We will see how much trouble they will get into on next week's episode of my crazy underground apartment. And they scared the speaker awake through the use of ghost makeup and 50,000 questions later. We will join the party as they are walking with the speaker to go and interrogate the thug just a little bit more to get everything back up to snuff. More so to follow through on the connections between the mercenary group that was in town and the miners in their attempts to overthrow the speaker. At the same time, Del Nadre, through some excellent rolls of stealth, was able to sneak around the group as they were walking past, and only Bitte noticed Del sneaking back into the speaker's residence to do whatever he is going to do back there. Maybe just clean it up a little bit, provide some weekend house cleaning, some maid services. But probably not.
That's likely. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the dice have in store.
Yeah. There's one thing Del Nadre Miracross likes. It's hard manual labor.
Yep, clearly.
This is true. We've known this is one of his pastimes. At this point in the adventure, for those DMs out there, and for those listening, we just want to kind of let you know that there's going to be a little bit of a shift. The focus of the campaign is no longer going to be on the problems within 10 towns, but now going to be the problems plaguing the greater Icewind Dale community. This is kind of noted as the shift between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of the book, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. And we are going to just kind of recap now on some of the pertinent information that we had discussed now as we are on our 14th session over the past year. So I'm gonna just list off some things, and I'm gonna rely on my players to kind of point out some tidbits I might have forgotten, or if you guys have questions about anything, feel free to ask. I know many of you may have been missing in one or two of these sessions where we discovered some of these items.
Do you have any cool stats, like how many people we killed?
No, I don't. I will, though, make a note to, in the end, have like your total, how far did you travel? How many towns did you visit? What did you not see?
How many steps we took?
Our Google Maps.
Yeah.
How many pets we've recruited?
A red line of like everywhere you went from start to finish. Back and forth to Goodmead too many times.
It ends up in the shape of a dick.
I was like, hey, now, guys.
You know,
What's
with
our
us, I wouldn't be
percentage?
surprised.
So some of the pertinent information or items you guys found in Chapter 1, the flaming longsword that denotes the speaker's position for Goodmead. The cursed items that we uncovered in the cave. I believe you got them, your curse connection broken by the paladin there in Goodmead, but you did not take the time to go and return them, correct, Delandre?
Yeah, they're just wrapped up in some sacred cloth down at the bottom of my bag.
Yeah, carrying around a bunch of curse items.
There's like a little sign that says "Do not touch."
But it's written in a different language. It's written in Thieves' Camp. So the Tea Leaf's ancestral axe, which has already helped Rosemary become more connected to her ghostly companion or backseat driver, Bree.
You're welcome. I found that in the forest before we started.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
The skull crystal that you guys just uncovered in the embedded skull in the wall in the mine of Tourmaline, way down deep in the 3rd level. That nobody has really taken the time to really inspect closely, but it was very off-putting to those who discovered it. Incriminating evidence that you'd uncovered in Shandar's apartment that links Shandar to Targos. Some potions, which are included in the sled gear, and I think there's one like of resist cold maybe, and health potions and other random items. Just a reminder to don't forget you have the stuff in the sled gear. And that's pretty much all the pertinent items that I remembered. Anything else that you guys think that we should update the listeners on?
I have a wooden cup with a carving of an eldritch beast that was found in the moon tomb. I believe that beast is a winged fish. I don't know if that's significant, but
A winged
it's
fish.
there. Yup. Mm-hmm.
I have a
I do remember that.
wand of web that I pulled out of a wall.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wand of web.
There's no way that cup was just there as like inventory filler. It's definitely significant.
Eldritch cup.
Ooh, I have one. Beta has the journals of the Mad Druid from the tomb,
This is true.
which upon some study will potentially allow Beta and or Rosemary to learn her ice sickle, her ice scythe ability.
That's right. You also have that which hopefully she kind of journaled. You haven't really had the opportunity to go through it, but there was that implication that you could probably learn some of the stuff that she learned, and you have that nice ability there. Good. All right.
Levi still has one of the copper claw potions
Oh yes.
that we got from we got them from a vendor in
Bryn Shander. Oh, also
in
for
I thought.
the speakers in the last session, I mistakenly kept referring to Bremen as one of the largest towns in 10 towns, and I was meaning to say Bryn Shander. But yes, Bitte just used one of those potions this last time, and it was Mirror Image. Now, Bitte, when you used that, refresh my mind, was that because that's what you had already written down, or did you roll for that?
No, that was what it originally was.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is just like it's just kind of up in the air.
it will
Actually, hang on. I think I wrote down a little
I think you might have. I think you might
list
have done
of
both of
things
them.
I wanted to remember.
I'm fairly certain it was just a random.
It was a random roll at the time, but we wrote down what they were because I think we took a little taste of each.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we discovered that you can, like, figure out what a potion is by tasting it.
Yes, this is true. Delicious. All right, let me put this up here for a second. Okay, so, all right, well, let's go next then. If there's no other items that you guys think are of importance. Now we have important individuals that you guys have interacted with across 10 towns. And now I'm not going to name every single person off from each of the 10 towns. I'm just going to kind of name people that were most likely in the book, or were so significant that they will come up again. That's not to say that the characters we met aren't still in the towns. It's just the book itself won't bring him in unless I do. So you said, "Oh, Bitty."
Oh yeah, I just remembered a detail about the speaker's sword. It's at a shop in Bryn Shander getting turned into a rapier, I believe.
It is true. Yes, it is getting finessed up.
So do we need to, like, go back and find it? Or get it?
I know where it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't going to be ready for like 20 days.
Yeah, it does have a significant time. It'll probably come up like later in the the campaign. All right, so important individuals across 10 town. In Caer Konig, we have the speaker Trovis, the dragonborn drunkard, that you guys found in a pile of snow outside of the tavern one day. And Ali and Corey Chorard, the innkeeper sisters who you guys assisted with returning their lantern after you guys met with Doug in that wasn't Doug. After you guys fought the Durigar outside in one of their little outposts. In Goodmead, we have Granny Olavessa, who is the speaker's proxy. Justice Beaver is the little squirt that was with the lumberjacks, but is now kind of turned into just one of the executive assistants, you might say, of the speaker.
I'm grooming him for speakership.
Doug, the Verbeeg that you guys befriended outside of town, and the Chewinga village that you are currently setting up. Although I guess it would probably be like Chewinga Condominium or Chewinga City State. I don't know what level we're at now, but
Chewinga apartment building?
the Chewinga Condominium.
It's the Chewinga Lodge for now. I'm sure they'll expand into like a neighborhood development.
Become a mixed-use district, a master planned community. In Lonelywood, y'all met Speaker Huddle, along with Lynna Reed and Callie Tealeaf, some of the relatives to the ghostly companion that currently kind of inhabits Rosemary's body. And finally, the last town that we really spent time in is Tourmaline. The speaker Oris, who you guys are currently with right now, Boomy, the mercenaries supervisor, Trex, the kobold, and the bandaged miner, which I don't remember I don't believe I have named him yet, and the thug Moody. I know we went to Bryn Shander. I know we also went to Caer Dineval. But neither of those locations you really met anybody of significant interactions.
Oh, like the significant Corey.
It's true. I mean, I suppose I could name every single. We could spend the next hour where I can just name off random names of the people you guys met on the street.
Every single NPC that we ever met.
And the ones you saw but didn't actually introduce. But if in case you wanted to know.
While in Bryn Shander, we interacted with a very important individual, Gans McDougan.
He makes the meat.
Gans McDougan.
That's the guy. That's the gyro vendor. He owns I Sell Things here.
Wasn't there a guy who honked?
I take notes on all of the things that no one should be taking notes on, and have no idea what the main plot is.
I don't think I was
Hey.
there for that session, so I'm glad you have notes for that.
He sells. Yeah, I have notes for him right here. It says, "I sell things here. Gans McDougan sells growling growlers," but I don't think anybody ever bought a growling growler.
No, I just bought a lot of gyro meat.
Yeah. That was pretty much the big people that you guys had interacted with. Of course, you had Shandar, but he's dead. Paladin there and Goodmead, the various people you courted for the groups in Goodmead as well. The innkeepers and taverns for the places that you have stayed at, but they don't really matter as much. Now, last thing you did was the what kind of like information you guys gleaned from your quests. So you've uncovered connections to Targus in both Goodmead and Tourmaline. It seems that somebody related to or representing Targus has had their hands in the affairs of other towns and 10 towns. You also discovered the Duergar's forces within Caer Konig, as they were the ones responsible for stealing some of the items around town. And the note that you had found in the Duergar's outpost indicated that they had a presence in East Haven as well. So you know that they're at least in one other of the 10 town locations. You've also uncovered a Neverwinter connection to Blake's or Del Nadre's backstory with the Kalistar people. There was some person from Neverwinter that came years ago. I think Del Nadre, you said you're 17 years ago you left, technically. I think maybe 20.
Mr. Stepwell himself.
Had came up here and they are in some way, you don't know where, connected to the destruction of the Kalistar's people's monastery and the subsequent, madness or revenge plot by Varnison, the frost druid that you guys defeated. You also know that there were other evil with quotation marks, awakened beasts across 10 towns made by Vernison. Although the little shrub that talked to you talked about how the one awakened beast outside of Bremen didn't want to do anything bad. So that brings us now into chapter 2. We are going to resume with our story, knowing now that we're kind of shifting our focus now into the greater problems across 10 towns. And so we bring ourselves back to following the party as they walk with the speaker towards the brig where the thug has been secured. And at the same moment, Del Nadra, you're going to be sneaking back into the speaker's house. Now we're going to have the party with the speaker. The three of them are going to finish out their interaction, and that's going to help us gauge how much time Del Nadre has to sneak around and uncover something, whatever you're looking to uncover. The speaker, Oris, walks up to the brig, which is probably just a little bit of an elongated supply closet storage room that they use as a brig from time to time, as most of these 10 towns rely on their protection just from the people. They have militia, and they don't really have a sheriff, as the speaker kind of holds that power in each of the towns. He opens it up, and Moody is still there on the ground, just kind of like hunched over. He's scooted away from the door a bit more from when he was thrown in by Del Nadre, and he kind of looks up and he just grimaces as he sees the speaker there. And Speaker Oris kind of looks at the party and is like, "Okay, so you said he's been around town a while? I don't recognize this gentleman. Outside of him attacking you, I just think he's a thug around town."
Didn't he say that he was he'd been attacking people who'd been coming to town?
They said that they
Like
had
on the road?
attacked one person. They had already attacked one group in town.
Okay.
I mean, on the way to the mine. It wasn't like that was I wouldn't say that it was like a recurring thing, but they have attacked. They did attack the other adventuring group that Oris had sent out to the mine.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
Quick. This should be Speaker Matthew, correct?
Yes, Oris Matthew.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Didn't
Oris
realize
is
he
his
had
first name. Matthew is his second name.
I have gained some lore. Didn't even have to
Lord
roll for
game.
it, guys.
Oh my goodness. So I suppose we'll just start with the fact that he attacked the other group that you sent up to the mines. Or his group did.
I mean, yeah, but as we had discussed earlier, I mean, it does make it. It is a problem that he's attacking people I'm sending on quests, but you know we're gonna send him here. What kind of information are we looking to gather here? I really just need to know how if he has anything that might pertain to my now soon to be formed campaign against the miners.
I would think that's up to you. Does anyone else have any leads on this guy? Or any questions they want to ask him?
So just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, he's a thug who's been around town. He attacked the uh adventuring group before us. Um but and they're part of a gang from Neverwinter, but do we know who hired them to bring them uh to Icewind Dale? Or to Ten Towns?
So we are under the impression that it was Boomy who hired the group.
Okay. And this is Boomy that we have captured now?
No, this is
No.
Moody. Moody is this is a gang, one of the gang members. Boomy is when we exited the
Right. Okay,
the mine with the kobolds. There was the miner guy, and then there was the quote unquote mastermind guy who I made some snide comments to. Mastermind guy is Boomy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might just be that it's been a minute, but I can't actually remember what we were going to, like, try to get out of an interrogation with this guy. I thought we were just, like, handing him over to the speaker for justice reasons, and we would go do our thing.
I think, and that's totally fine, that we can just take this and kind of step away from this. You're right. It was half an opportunity if Levi wanted to ask any questions, and half an opportunity as the speaker does want to know, because when he asked a question to Bitte was, is there any clear and provable or evident or like something you can follow up on evidence that the mercenaries were connected to the miners in terms of like telling them to attack people, you know, like
Okay, so that's what we want to figure out from him.
right, exactly. That's largely what you're trying to go into. Now that doesn't have to. That can just be something that the speaker does on his own, and you guys just say, okay, well we're done here. It could also be
Now, I mean, we do know that Boomy hired the group. We also know that Boomy was last seen going into the mine with the head of the miners.
technically Boomy
And
is
if that's
just
not incriminating enough,
Boomy is just the representative of the person who hired the group, and
right?
Boomy wasn't actually seen. Only you have the word of the person who was there. He wasn't actually seen at the ambush. He was just conveniently seen right before the ambush, and he was seen with the miners afterwards. But you really haven't seen this thug in with any miners. Granted, you really haven't had an opportunity to be in town for very long, so it's not like it's not to say people have or have not. The thug mentioned that he and his gang have been visible around town, so they know they're here. But you know, it's really largely right now a he said she said kind of situation, or they said and we said. And we're just trying to figure out more evidence to back up the speaker's position to help him in the upcoming inevitable or potentially the potential election.
Fair. I mean, besides the sort of hearsay of like, well, we saw Boomy with the miners going into the mine, with the head miner going into the mine, and then we were told that Boomy was part of, like, was a representative of the person who hired the thugs to do thug things, and that the thugs had attacked other adventurers who were trying to clear the mine in the past. Just seems circumstantial, I guess. Especially, but it does seem to implicate the miners because they're the ones who would benefit from all of this. But I guess without any hard evidence that we can prove.
We do have, well, perhaps not hard evidence specifically, but we were specifically told by the minor representative that we do have explicit statements that he was specifically trying to keep it from. Ugh, why are my words failing me? Low charisma.
It's okay, take your time.
Seems like a wisdom roll, right?
We were explicitly told by him to A, murder the kobolds, and B, not solve the city's problems. So I don't know what the town's laws is, but that might be substantial enough for the speaker to act on.
The moody. Now you said this because you were in Bitte's voice, in character, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So Moody would have been like, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't say nothing. These guys beat me up in the woods.
He's not wrong.
I'm not even talking about
there,
what you said. I'm talking about we had a conversation with the minor representative who specifically turned into a bit of a little cunt about the idea of us solving this problem for them.
Yeah, but you know that sounds like that doesn't look. Look, speaker. Look, you're a good man, right? You have a good head on your shoulder. Just these guys are crazy. The people you hired for this mining thing. Who do you think about? I'm just you've seen me around town. I've been around here, newcomer to your town. Thought I would be settling here in Tourmaline, and look at what I got. Look at the hospitality of these people who are under your purview, beating me up in the woods, trying to bring me back here and throw me in jail for something they probably did themselves.
You're complaining that we beat you up in the woods after you ambushed us. And are you surprised that we would defend ourselves? Are you absolutely insane?
He's gonna try to roll. Why do I not have? Okay, there it is. Persuasion towards against the speaker to see if the speaker is kind of gonna even entertain these thoughts.
To be clear, deception.
That's true. Sorry.
Lion fuck.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, same thing. Still, he doesn't have anything for either of those, so it's gonna be a straight roll for him.
Can I contest that with a persuasion?
Yes. I will allow this.
Okay. So I didn't think I would need it this soon, but I took commanding presence. So when I make a charisma persuasion check, I can expend a superiority die and add the superiority die to my ability check. So I will be doing that.
Nice.
Ooh.
But let me go ahead and roll my persuasion check. If I can get my sheet open. There we go. Persuasion is not my best ability for sure, but here we go. Oh, fuck off.
Wowza.
Listen,
okay.
I don't mean to just to beat a dead horse, but there's something between me and the dice bot that just is not good.
Okay, so
I was gonna say I could probably give you guidance, but I don't think that's gonna help at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. So at this point, the speaker's kind of just like he's starting to like. You all notice his face becoming a bit more puzzled as he now has conflicting information. the thug is putting on a pretty good show in like kind of patheticness and just kind of like playing to the you guys are random people walking into this town. How do you even know them? I've been here for a while. He's name dropping a couple of the miners, a couple of the people around town. You know, Vernon, the tavern keeper, the Blue Clam. Like he knows me, man. Like this, I give him a good tip. I've been drinking there every night with the boys. Kind of stuff like that.
Answer me this, you lying little shit. If you have no connection to the miners whatsoever, you're just complete crazy people. We have no, and you have no connection to the mining interest or anything benefiting them. Why are you getting so frazzled trying to convince him that people you have no tie to are not responsible for hiring you? Why would you give a shit? Why would you be invested at all in trying to defend people? Defend people's involvement in your actions if they have no remote association with you.
I mean, no. Look, speaker. I don't want to besmirch the good nature of any of your.
Was the speaker talking to you,
townspeople,
or was I?
Okay.
Beata's gonna pick him up by the front of his shirt.
Stop. Okay. I lied. Ow. I lied. I'm sorry. You know, worth a shot, right? He looks at you like dead in the eye. Just the whole facade just dropped. He just has a grimace on his face. He didn't.
It was worth a shot.
He had a really low insight on trying to stick with his plan here. Like any sort of attempt there, but yeah, he kind of just the speaker just immediately just you know, no point in even asking him. He's not very reliable. Let's just. Throw him back in there. Let's close the door, I guess, unless you guys have any other questions to ask. And, you know, I need to go back and prepare for the theater tonight. Maybe you guys can take him back and handle returning him to bringing him to Bryn Shander, or at least deliver a message to have one of their guardsmen come by and pick him up.
That on our way, roughly? Where's my map of 10 towns go?
As I unfurl my big map of 10 towns.
I had a big map of 10 towns, and now I don't know where it
We're north of Bryn Shander right now, right?
Yes.
Kind of north and a little bit west.
Yeah, the road
Is
goes
Bryn
through
Shander on the way to Karakonig?
Kind of. You can cut across the cairn, or you can cut across the Dwarven
Kelvin's
Valley
cairn.
and go kind of close to Kelvin's cairn to get to Caer Konig. You mean it's not a very. By the way, the crow flies. That's the fastest route, and might be something that Bitte kind of would be like, yeah, let's just go, and it's that way, and just walks into the wilderness. But as far as like walking along the roads, it's Caer Konig is kind of like on the far end of the stops along the road from where you are. But Bryn Shander is just 2 cities away. You're closest to Targus, and then Bryn Shander is right after that.
Oh, we have to go through Targus?
You on the way here, you kind of bypassed it. There was just a road around it. You didn't really go inside, but technically, you pass through Targus to get to Bryn Shander.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're kind of, as the roads go, we're on one tip of a letter U, and Caer Konig is on the very opposite tip of that letter U. And Bryn Shander is down towards the bottom of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we could either hoof it across the nothing, or we could do our handy dandy U shape.
Yeah. Remind me why we need to get to Caer Konig?
Because I'm dying.
Yeah.
That's where the person who can fix you is?
The person who
Yeah,
can fix
that's
him,
where the scrying led us.
It led us
Okay.
to a cabin in the middle of the tundra that just so happened to show the same face of Kelvin's cairn as you might see outside of Caer Konig. So
So we need go to the tundra on the opposite side of Kelvin's Cairn.
True. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. So I'm not opposed to some tundra, some rough ride in through the tundra, but that's
Yeah.
entirely up to you guys.
I'm down for some off-roading.
As am I.
Um,
I'm relatively built for it.
all right. So, do y'all have any other questions then for the thug, or for the most part, is that kind of just that's done?
Do you want to tell us who hired you and maybe get a plea deal?
They already said Boomy is the person that they know. That's the only name they know. The person
All right.
who would have known was cut in half by Levi.
Okay. That's disappointing.
So they know.
How
Levi.
convenient, how convenient for you, Corey.
Well, I mean, it's not my problem that you cut people in half and gave me a convenient answer.
Not
To
my
be-
fault, says Corey, the person who was controlling Levi at the time.
Okay.
It's not my fault what you did when you were mind controlled.
Yeah.
By me.
Oops, did I do that?
Jeez.
Yeah. So, if there's no other questions then for Moody, we will close the brig and we will go to Dell and let him see how long he has, albeit very short time that he has to inspect the speaker.
Okay, I just want to say for the bit that I ran a stopwatch and I have actually 18 minutes and 7 seconds, so...
Seriously?
It takes us forever to do literally anything.
That's a lot longer than I thought it was. Okay, well you have in-game time 18 minutes and 30 seconds before you hear a door slam shut on the brig, and that gives you you have to finish whatever you're doing and getting out of here. So
All right.
you get into the speaker's house. There is, as we talked about, a little bit of a living room. It's all one story, although it's very large, and there is a loft. So it's not one story. So there's a loft office off the main section of the living room. There's a kitchen off to the left that's just part of the living room, divided by like a little half wall, a little bar. And to the right, there are two doors. One of them was open, and it went to the bedroom. The other one is closed, and you do not know what is behind there. And then, of course, there is a loft area above.
Okay, so first order of business, check behind door number 1.
The closed door?
Yeah.
It is locked.
Yeah, well, you know.
Is it?
Let me do some scrolling. All right. Mm-hmm. Does a 10 unlock this door?
You believe that you would if you had time. If you wanted to, it would take you a little bit of time, but you could probably figure it out. However, given that you are seemingly on a time crunch, knowing that you don't have forever to be in here, it is a risk there. I would make you roll to see how lucky you are to whether or not you are able to open up successfully, or if it would take more time.
Okay. I'm gonna abandon that for now, and I'm gonna head up to the office.
Okay. In the office, you see a couple of very nice couches. These couches are like, some nice fur topping, well cushioned. And there's a couple of them around a small little table. There's equipment and accessories for a smoke lodge, cigar smoking or pipe smoking there, along with a little bar of some nicer liqueur. Your first notice is the good mead, a bottle of good mead that's well aged. I don't know if mead actually ages though, but it's it's good. It's old good mead.
It's a good vintage.
Yeah.
The gooder mead. Is there like a desk or anything? Does he?
Up here, there's not really a desk, although one of the side tables does have a little drawer. Although upon opening it up, it's just kind of random crap that little things might, some coasters or something. Really, up here seems to be kind of like a more relaxed, more private where you might meet guests from well-to-do guests from around town.
Okay. So no visible like working space in
No, this is
any
not
of
his
these rooms.
This is not his office up in the loft. There's only one room to the top, and the living room was very simple. The kitchen, very simple. Living room was just a big open area with some couches. The loft is a bit more relaxed.
I thought you described it as a loft office. So
Sorry,
okay.
I did say office up to the top, but it wasn't actually an office when you got up there.
No worries. Okay, then I'm gonna head back and dedicate some time to that door.
All right. Now you have you have two things here. Knowing that you had before, you can either roll thieves' tools again, or we can roll a d4, and that will basically just determine how much time of the quarter you will take. However, knowing that if you fail this roll again, it'll kind of reference itself very similar to the d4. So ultimately it's more of a, do you want to use your ability or do you want to use luck? But I mean, it's all dice rolls, so it's all luck.
Hey man, it's D&D. It's a luck-based game. Thieves' tools, round 2. What could go wrong?
Get it.
So much could go wrong.
Yeah.
So very much could go
15.
wrong.
15.
All right.
It's a little bit better.
It takes
you know.
So at this time, you've spent about 5 minutes going upstairs, looking around, doing stuff. You come back down, so you're about 1/4 of the way into the time you have, and you take up another 1/4 the time. So you, after a little bit of working there, you're able to get it open without much, being delicate about it. And you crack open and find an office. There's a desk on one side. There's a big armoire. There's another little side shelf. There's a map of 10 towns. There's some notes on a little bulletin board there as well.
All right, let's start with the obvious notes.
On the bulletin board? Roll
Yeah.
me 2 d20s. All right. So for the first note, you see he's written down a little bit of a sticky note, kind of referencing a pin on the map. You notice that as you look over to the map, he has some of the notes that he has are just kind of marked with a little pin and a little lettering symbol. And in this note, it describes a black cabin. He said, "Bad magic in black cabin. Gnome in Brinchander knows more," and just puts copper underneath in quotation marks. Now, this little area that he marked on the map, you will notice it is on the south side of Kelvin's Cairn, a little bit to the northeast of Caer Konig.
So likely the area we were looking for.
Yep.
Okay.
Now the next one is he just it's just a big it's a little kind of sketch of some kind of people in a bunch of furs. It's kind of amateur, but you can get the impression that these are nomads. You've heard of a couple of descriptions of nomads in 10 towns called the Raid Nomads. They are a traveling, kind of look like that. Oh, it's typed like that. They are some traveling people that really know the lay of the land. And when you've tried to find things in the tundra before and inquire about them, a lot of people mentioned, the raids probably know what that is, but good luck trying to talk to them. And so his note just kind of mentions, have seen them outside of town, watch for reindeer, they follow close behind, is kind of the note that he writes there. And so that's what you can glean from from your quick glance at the notes. Now, what would you like to focus on next? You have the armoire, the bookshelf, and the desk.
I'm gonna go for the desk.
Yeah, I'm gonna say whichever one you choose is gonna maybe the last one. All right, roll me investigation as you investigate the desk.
22.
All right. So you're able to go and get as much information from this desk as possible. You realize that the theater that he brought into town, he gave significant tax incentives to this theater to the point where the town both lost money as he outright gave the deed, didn't just lease the theater to them, outright gave them the deed. In addition to that, he also has to pay them every month. Now, he does get a little bit of a kickback on ticket sales to the town coffers. However, your quick math indicates that he has to sell out a show a week for him to get enough kickback to actually make money in comparison to what he's lost on this deal. So not a very good indications on him. You also notice that he has some information regarding the town's guardsmen, the militia, their pay and their gear and stuff, and you can kind of see he's kind of past due on some bills in paying them. Some of the guardsmen militia members have not gotten their stipend. Additionally, he has not really updated, kind of a lot of things where you see notes from guardsmen saying, hey, my sword needs to be resharpened. My leather armor needs to have somebody look at it. It's kind of fraying at the things. The latches are not working anymore. It barely fits. It's really tough, or it's scarred too much from previous encounters, etc., etc. A lot of problems about the mine, but not really. But he kind of it seems like he has a bunch of information that he just hasn't dealt with in terms of that. He also has multiple bills from the Blue Clam that he has just filed into a filing folder that you notice is labeled problems I don't have time for. Now, is there anything in particular that you're looking for that I didn't mention but might pop out upon you asking about it?
Ideally, I'm looking for any kind of like, I wanted to see, whether he's trustworthy or whatnot, so got some of that. But overall, I'm always looking for any kind of information related to Targos or the Zentarum.
Nothing outright. The speaker doesn't really. He hasn't. There's nothing being like. You don't see any mentions of Targos. Although that's not to say that's not true. He does have notes on the speaker of Targos. He kind of suspects, it comes to see from correspondence he had with other speakers, that he suspects that the speaker of Targos is up to something, and he has been himself trying to shore up support. I guess you can't really call it like an alliance or a side, so to speak, with the speaker of Brinshander, in case Targos wants to do something. So kind of just talking with speakers, talking about like, we need to be on the watch for Targos. As we know, the speaker has always been very ambitious, and we don't want to let this council come up with, or we don't want to leave this council giving Targos even more leverage against the affairs of 10 towns. So it kind of seems like the last town council, which we will say they had just before all of this ice winter stuff started 2 years prior. Conveniently, it just happened to fall before the everlasting winter started, and has not stopped since then. Targus may have gotten some concessions, may have gotten more cut of like the shared profits. There's a lot to do with the speaker council that we'll get in more as that comes up, that you as Del Nodger is aware of. We're just not going to get into it right now. That's not as pressing of the matter right now.
Yeah. All right.
And so at this time, you have the ability to quickly glance at something before you're going to hear that door slam.
Other options were bookshelf and armoire. I like the armoire.
Armoire. You open up the armoire, you find a number of very fancy outfits, as well as one outfit that's very clearly a costume, as if perhaps the speaker will have a part in the play.
All right, I'd like to take note of the outfit, like, what it is.
Okay.
Like, yes, red outfit. Now I'll be looking for red outfit in the play.
Yes, it is. Let me just bring it up. What it looks like. It looks like a red outer cloak with some nice kingly, you know, there's a little bit of a crown you kind of can see as you like kind of rifle through the cloak a little bit. There's some very nice finer wear, or it looks like finery from a distance, but as you get closer, it's actually kind of like just, you know, it's very, very much costumes. So yeah. And is at that point that you hear the door close, and you need to prepare as the speaker kind of announces to the rest of the group, I need to go get ready for the theater. I hope to see you all there tonight, but consider your business in Tourmaline done. Should you wish to spend more time here, feel free to take the night, of course, in the east side, and try not to make the miners too upset. You know, this is my town after all, and I'd like to keep the people happy with me as much as possible.
Is there a window I can slip out?
There is a window above the kitchen, and there is a back door behind the in the back of the living room.
Oh, okay, back door.
All right. It was locked from the inside, but you slip out and leave it unlocked as you run around and kind of go back through the door. As the speaker walks back into his residence, the rest of the party is there, sitting in front of the little executive assistant who's at the desk there. And yeah, it's back to the full party. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, you know, us too. We've got to get ready for the play. We have tickets.
We do actually have tickets, don't
love
we?
the play.
Yes, you guys do have tickets. They were given out free with your
with your contract.
No,
with our room.
With your room.
Jeez.
Maybe we'll see you there.
We should go let the dogs out, and then we should go to the play.
Yes. Sounds like a good idea.
All right. So we're going to have a little bit of time. You guys have an opportunity to get rested. It was early afternoon, and the play is not going to start until early evening after the sun has set. So as you make your way back to the east side, is there anything that you guys would like to do as kind of part of like a little montage? Just kind of like, what are you going to do during your, let's say, 3 hours off before it's time to go to the theater?
I feel like Rosemary is like very, like, she has like a little assembly line, or not assembly line, of like just trying to sneak out each of the capybaras through the window so that they can like do their business of like the capybaras and the dogs and whatever else we have in our room. I guess also the kobolds. We need to get food for the kobolds, maybe?
Yeah. Very possible. Yeah, so yeah, you guys do have you have a lot of people in your...
You have a little menagerie.
Yeah, you have a little menagerie in your room. In fact, as you guys go back to the east side, the tavern keep kind of just says, hey, the lady is just like, hey, guys, I just want to let you know, you know, I understand you're you know, a couple of rough individuals. You're doing stuff around 10 towns. You know, you living a rowdy life. But some of our guests here are here for the play. They are of the more kinder and gentler people, and they noticed that you guys have a lot of sound coming from your room, and we would really like it if you could keep it down. Thank you.
Of course, I'm so sorry, and I kind of like give a bow and take my hat off, and a bat flies out.
And she's just like, ma'am, we've told you before, you can't have any animals inside. Can you please stop? Like, and she's like trying to catch this bat. Please, like, what is this?
It'll go away in an hour. I promise. Sorry.
She's just like looking at you like, an hour? How many people is gonna bite in that? God, ridiculous people. Druids. God.
Whoa.
So you guys go back to your room, and you find it in a state of disrepair. It has been, it is everywhere. The dogs have just gone crazy with the new kobolds you kind of just threw in there. The kobolds are fearing for their life. There are 3 kobolds who have kind of barricaded themselves in the corner. They broke a bunch of chairs and tables to form a small wooden barricade, and they've used the table legs with sharpened edges as little spears. The dogs have each kind of like lay down outside this barricade at a good enough distance they can't get attacked, and they just routinely just like regularly growl. You like open the door, this is what you kind of like come to see. And the capybara have all taken the bedding. This is mostly Croissant, but the other ones joined in, as you can see. The bedding that you guys have ripped it all up and formed a nice little nest, and they're just like kind of like sitting in the middle of it all, just.
So we're
Now-
not getting our deposit back, guys.
I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm fairly certain when we first got to Tourmaline, you told us that they had like some sort of like shed area for the animals, and that's where we put them instead of putting them in our room.
Yeah, I think the capybaras are in the room because
I could have swore that you put all of the pets, you snuck them all through the window, because I remember saying the shed, but this is definitely on me in not remembering, but I could have swore I described the shed as like pretty squalid conditions, and your love for your dogs just said, nah, fuck it, we're just gonna sleep with them. Now it could have just been just the capybara, in which point then it would be very similar lines of Croissant is then just barricading the kobolds in the corner, and the other 2 have just made a nest in the bed. Whichever you guys want, we can just kind of make whatever we decide is canon. So which of these descriptions would you like?
Well, I think if the shed was squalid, we probably would have brought the dogs inside then.
Yeah, I want to say I can imagine, even though that I think was the session that I wasn't here for, that like upon seeing the shed, Rosemary just like looked at the rest of the guys with puppy dog eyes and like did that thing where she like holds the dog up by his front paws and just like, please don't make me sleep in the shed.
So we'll go with the staying in the room. So you guys come back to your room in a big state of disrepair. Some of your stuff is kind of just like, you find a couple of your clothes have made it into the bedding of the capybara. One of the kobolds actually does have maybe one of you guys' swords or something, maybe an extra dart that Pite had left behind or something. And so it takes you a little bit of time to kind of collect your things and calm everybody down. But the kobolds just kind of sit there. You have Zert, Smol, and Vought. These are the remaining kobolds, and they kind of look at you and they're like, where's Trex? We thought he'd come back by now, but I mean, we didn't see him on the road, but did you see him somewhere in town?
We haven't seen him in town yet. We've been keeping our eyes open though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. What about do we have a job? Are we staying here?
We're working on that. We're planning on. We have a sort of event that we're going this evening. It is important to the town speaker, and it could potentially lead to some new discussions.
Oh, okay. So, also, can you call your mutts off?
Jam, are you bullying them?
Kind of just like whimpers a little bit, but then also at the same time, like as he snuggles up to you, whenever his head is on the other side of you, he growls at the kobold still.
That is a bad dog.
Yeah. Not the best.
I'm gonna go kneel in front of Gary and telepathically tell him that he's been a very, very good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Gary. Papa is proud. Okay, I'm gonna take Gary for a walk. Bye.
Why is their dog reputation 2 stars on the Doggos file?
We haven't had an opportunity to get back to that, but there was a time when everyone rolled animal handling to increase their reputation with the dog, to eventually get to the point where they will become kind of combat companions, and you have more control over them outside of them just being sled dogs. And I think everyone rolled fairly well, but Del Nadri and somebody else rolled very well, or even better. Somebody has 2, and I think everyone has 1. We haven't had an opportunity to go back.
I have 2.
We haven't had an opportunity to go back and do it again as we get to another time skip, which we may or may not be coming up to one. So that is an ongoing thing for us.
I think Levi would ask Del if he can accompany him on his walk.
Sure. Grab a dog and let's go.
Yeah, he takes Titus with him.
Remember to go out through the window.
Of course.
Right.
There's
front door.
no better way to walk a dog than to jump through a window first.
All right. So, Bitte, Rosemary, are you guys going to stay back? And what are you going to do in the meantime? And then we'll get back to Levi and Del Nadri.
I'm going to try to convince the dogs not to attack the kobolds. Kobolds are friends, not food.
Okay. Bitte?
Beta is going to... I mean... His view is more like, this is just, people living. He doesn't need to deal with teaching the dogs not like kobolds. He is just going to settle down with some jerky and share it with any dogs that feel like hanging out.
All right. So, yeah.
He's been around too many people. He needs dog time.
So you're going to spend some time with the dogs. You both are going to be spending some time with the dogs, specifically trying to improve or change their behavior. So why not? Let's do this an opportunity. Let's do a DC 12 animal handling check to see whether or not you can increase your reputation.
Would you like some guidance, Bitte?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Alright, you can add a D4 to your roll.
I appreciate it.
I can just imagine Rosemary just has a bunch of these little tiny pocketbooks. It was like guidance for animal handling, guidance for arcana.
Just like, little pamphlets.
Yeah, just the druid carrying a bunch of paper pamphlets.
She has like 1 or 2 about surviving on like long treks in the mountains that she asked Beta to write. That just inside just say, "Don't die."
I would consider that sound guidance.
Yeah.
It's like, keep walking, don't die. That's it. That's
it.
And she was just like really disappointed when he first gave it to her.
But it's quickly
like,
become like, oh, that actually is sound advice. Don't die is a great way to survive any good.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, Carson, you can add 1 to your corresponding pups.
Gotcha.
Animal handling, or other dog reputation.
Can I do guidance on myself?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna do that.
Dog
Not that I need it.
Dog reputation.
Well, no, roll it. Excellent. That would have put you at an 18 for your base roll if you did no, you're at a goodness.
I have a +6.
You had a 14 for your base roll. You still got above 20, so you can actually add 2. And not only that, you're successful in befriending one of the kobolds, let's call him Small, with your dog, Jam. To the point where Jam kind of has taken him in under his wing and treats him kind of in the similar vein, similar as he treats the capybaras.
Nice.
At this point, you can take this opportunity to rename Small into some kind of bread condiment.
I don't want to rename a sentient being.
Hey man, what's your name? Small. That's not cute enough and doesn't go with my theme.
Yeah.
I will call you
You're
sourdough.
custard, you know?
Sourdough. No, bread condiments, not breads themselves. Oh no, it's bread. It can be bread themed because we do have croissant.
Croissant.
Yeah.
From this day on, I shall be known as Relish.
It could happen. You could like the name.
So do I add 2 stars?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
My dog reputation is 4 stars.
Now, Dell, Levi, kind of give us a feeling. What's this walk doing? What was y'all's plans as you went for a walk? Just to spend some time with your dogs, or?
I
We just gotta track that guy.
I was planning to go find a nice park to let the dogs run.
Okay.
And then, since Levi is accompanying me, I'm going to hand him 10 of the letters that I stole from the evidence locker, and I'm going to take the other 10, and we're just going to go through them.
And these letters, these are from the evidence locker from...
In the speaker's house.
Just right
when
now?
I dropped the guy off in the brig, and then went into the side room, which ended up being like the evidence locker, and you said I was able to grab 20 envelopes or like letters, but I have no clue what any of them are.
This is true.
So
yeah.
Hey Levi, I've got some correspondence that I recently located anonymously, and we need to make sure that none of this is indicting the speaker of anything, bad. Or anyone, really. We should make sure that nothing bad is going on here. We'll be helping the citizens if we make sure that nothing bad is going on here. Can you read these letters?
Now, Del Nadre, I don't normally condone your anonymous locating. However, there are many things in this town that strike me as odd, and discovering information on the speaker may not be a bad idea.
I feel like the speaker's either actively up to no good or just really, really bad at his job.
All right.
I think public spending is just not really being, balanced correctly.
All right. So, let's do some quick rolls here. Dell, because you were the one who found them, roll me I guess just an investigation check to see whether or not you got a bunch of letters that were of merit or not. I know we may have made a roll last time, but...
do I have advantage because Levi is helping me?
Not really, because he wasn't there whenever you were actively grabbing all of the stuff.
Dang it.
This is not to see. This is just to see,
I got a 14.
14, okay. After, kind of just quickly skimming them, you guys are able to kind of, out of the 20 you found, you actually are able to kind of just weed out a good third of them as just kind of totally useless. They are random complaints from what you saw as an evidence locker had evidence in it, but what you kind of grabbed was really just a big box of letters that he's just collected. Every single one of them was made out to the speaker, but it's kind of just like random things that people have been requesting from not the town. You notice none of the speakers, none of the addresses come from within Tourmalines. These are all people outside of Tourmaline, kind of just communicating with the speaker. Levi, roll me intelligence as you read through these and understand them.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me to do that. I just knew it. And I was going to make a joke that Levi can't actually read, but now we're going to find out that that's actually true.
Hey!
Okay.
It's not terrible. 14. All right. So you kind of skim through them pretty quickly, and there are a couple that pertrigue your interest. Give me a D20, and we're gonna pull a rumor out of the table that kind of along the same lines of what Dell found on the Post-it note. All right. 9. Okay, 1 second. Let me just find the... there it is. All right. So, there is a... You got a letter that kind of started with a bunch of gibberish, and then quickly underneath it, it's kind of just like the letter is just this blank piece of paper, and the first paragraph is just nonsense. It's a weird language that seems to change its symbols. Like it writes in one script, and then it writes in another script. And then writes in another script, and every single one of the scripts is not a language that you know. Finally, underneath it kind of describes in common. We've been hearing these words in our brain for the past couple of weeks. We suspect that somebody inside your town may be hearing the same thing. If you hear any of the following of the words written above, you can send them, or you please send them our way. We will be hanging out in Bryn Shander. And they give the let me see real quick. Let me give you the name of the tavern there in Bryn Shander. The House of the Morning Lord. So, House of the Morning Lord. That's where they're located. People with or hearing things. Now, you don't really have any idea of that. However, you do know that. Refresh me if this was something I brought up or not, Dell, and I would have really only been Dell. But the skull crystal that you found in the mine, you didn't touch it, but it gave you some weird vibes, right?
I believe, yeah, I did some kind of check on it, and
it had some like telepathic
Failed the vibe check.
or like psychic vibes. Let's go with that. And this would have been something that Dale and Levi you guys kind of shared. So
who ended up holding onto that crystal?
I think it's just in one of y'all's pouches. I think
It's not. I know it's not in mine.
I want to say maybe Bitte, although Bitte wasn't there for that session.
Rosemary or Levi were the
maybe
ones who found this crystal, so I think one of them has it.
That's
But
right.
Probably Levi.
They were in the different.
Yeah, I had made a note for myself that I had it, and I was going to discuss with everybody who wanted to keep it, but I can just add it to my inventory.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
back off on what I said. I did get those. I did get the two groups mixed up in what little hole you guys were in at the bottom of the mine. So yeah, Levi.
They showed the crystal to us. We're all aware of it because I came over after like geode hunting,
right,
and got to at least look at it, but I didn't think I was holding it.
So
and it's it's an illithid crystal skull, right?
Yes. And so the only thing also of note is that they are willing to pay 250 gold pieces if anybody helps them. They're like, you can also let people know in case you have adventures in your town that we're willing to pay 250 gold pieces to anybody who can help us stop the noise.
Levi would show he would show Dell the letter and then ask, do you suppose that perhaps a letter similar to this one was sent to Goodmead for the speaker?
Maybe. I haven't seen Justice with my mail in a while, or actually at all. He's never brought me my mail, but it's possible.
Because I don't want to speak for you, but knowing your your penchant for desiring monetary currency, I figure this may perhaps interest you. Not to say that it doesn't interest me, but I know it definitely interests you.
I will say I do like money. This is a significant sum for something that sounds really insignificant, in my opinion. But there have been some things in my life recently that kind of create an interest in psychic whisperings. Yeah, this might be kind of important.
Hey, listen, I have never gone around saying I'm the best reader or writer or speller. I want to make that clear off the bat. However, can you read this section at all? Because I cannot.
What languages do you speak? Yeah.
Common, Elvish, Hawari, and Thieves' Cant.
Then no, you cannot. Unless you have some ability to determine other languages.
I do not.
Then no. Now, there could be a potential there with your background, with your Kalistar. But that's something I don't think that's something Dell has even really tried to pursue at all.
No, not really.
All right. So then the other letter of note, or another letter of note that you find there, Levi, is there is an invitation from the Goliath home talking about an upcoming celebration of whatever game they play, which I cannot off the top
Goat
of my
ball.
What? Goat ball. Yes. And they have invited the speaker to come and be a honored delegate. And as far as
That's cool. I wonder if Vitae knows about that.
Yeah, and as far as that's concerned, the rest of the letters that Levi that you have there are largely just random people from around town that are, they just send letters to people. They send letters to the town speaker to ask for help. Yeah. So Del Nadre, same line. Roll me an intelligence check as you read through them to see how well you can determine them. See how many of these letters we can uncover some
intelligence
more
check
rumors and stuff.
13.
All right, so kind of along the same lines, you get two that you get to choose from. Roll me a d20 to see if you've uncovered any other rumors of quests around 10 towns. 18.
18.
Okay. Where's this quest right here? All right. The speaker of Bryn Shander sent a letter to the speaker of Tourmaline, asking him if he has had any encounters with the Arcane Brotherhood in town. She says that he has that she has determined that one of the Arcane Brotherhood members who was kept at Revel's End, which is you just mentioned a location called Revel's End. It is Revel's End.
This was the speaker from what city?
Bryn Shander. So the speaker of Bryn Shander has asked the speaker of Tourmaline, which is Oris Matthew, if he can assist with uncovering some more information about the Arcane Brotherhood. She said that there is a gentleman at Revel's End by the name of Gant, Gant, who might have information to send or to share, and wants Tourmaline to kind of just send somebody to assist. She's kind of just looking for assistance in that, and it kind of makes it seem that the Tourmaline and Bryn Shander might have close ties, especially as they've already uncovered plots for them to kind of buddy up against Targus. Finally, a lot of other letters that you uncover. The only ones that seem to be a note is one that you may or may not understand. Somebody in the town of Dugan's Hole sent a letter to Tourmaline saying that, hey, there's some rough individuals here in town, and I overheard them at the bar last night that they were heading up your way to Tourmaline, and you might just want to keep an eye out for them. They look like a troublemaker crowd. So you don't really know. There's no descriptions in that letter, but largely, some troublemakers are making their way to Tourmaline, and this was dated a couple of weeks ago.
Guy's so bad at his job.
So yeah, if your determination of so far of the speaker is that he does not do his job well. Yeah. Well, you guys spend your time at the park. You uncover those information. You make your way back to the east side.
I have something else I wanted to do.
Okay, yes. What would you like to do?
Okay. I would like to locate a magic shop.
Okay.
Or something along the lines, somewhere that might have like magical regents and the things.
Okay. Are you looking for something in particular, or are you just looking for a shop that has, items that deal with the more arcane nature?
Well, specifically, I'm looking for a place where I could find the use of a what does it say specifically? A brass brazier, but also I need to find some like incense and herbs and things for a ritual.
Okay. Does this ritual have anything to do with what you uncovered at the moon tomb?
It has nothing to do with that, and it has entirely something to do with something I've seen my sister do that I want to try.
Gotcha. Okay. Roll me charisma as you ask around town to see if you can find anything. Tourmaline is not really a magic-oriented town. Unfortunately, given your time that you had away, this 3 hours, you weren't able to find any townspeople that kind of been like, oh yeah, so-and-so has that. Somebody has said you maybe want to try asking the speaker, perhaps at the theater. It's not that, but at this time, I mean, really, Tourmaline probably doesn't have a magic shop. Bryn Shander would definitely have a magic shop. But there's most likely somebody here in town. You just have to find them with a better roll next time. So at this time, no, you do not find anything that would help you in that situation. At least given the limited amount of time that you have, I would say you probably had about an hour to ask around. And the speaker was made.
We don't have any kind of brazier in our hotel.
Not a brass one, no.
Dang it. Okay. And then side note, if I were to burn the 16 letters that I find completely inconsequential and keep the 4 that Levy and I read through, roughly how much charcoal would that create of what gold value?
I don't think you get charcoal from burning paper, my dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be small bits, but...
You could...
No, that's ashes.
Yeah, you get some ashes, but...
Which is like a form of charcoal, just some really small charcoal.
Yeah, so similar to actual charcoal, if you want to generate it, you need to essentially put it in a sealed container. And you're basically boiling away and burning away everything but the carbon, but the actual structure of it isn't getting hit with flames at all. So it stays intact and together. You can get it from paper and cloth, and it makes good.
Is that where you stick a bunch of paper inside an Altoid can and then just shove the Altoid can in a fire?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say yes, you could make a small bit of charcoal then. However, you would need Bitte's expertise and advice before you could do such a thing.
As I'm about to just throw all of the letters into the fireplace, mentioning that, hey, I need to make some charcoal, guys. Bitte's just hold up.
That's not how it goes. Let me make it for you. Bitte just takes the letters and just gives you some charcoal, and he's just like, I'll just do this later.
Oh, you just had this in your pocket? Oh my gosh. How much charcoal is this? If you had to assign a gold value to it, what do you think this is worth?
How much charcoal are you looking for?
I need 10 golds worth of charcoal, herbs, and there's a third thing.
Okay, I'd have to say if you try to get 10...
incense.
Okay, so it's a collective value to all of those things, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. So that's probably enough charcoal that you need. I'm trying to think of man, how much would 10 gold pieces worth of charcoal be? Are you gonna get a whole pallet of charcoal? Goodbye.
What are you trying to cast?
Yeah.
So my sister has this thing that she does a couple times. She doesn't have to do it often, but she has this owl that she flies around with, and she can do these really cool things with it, where she can talk to it, and it sends her information and stuff, and I was gonna try and do that. But apparently it's like this big deal ritual. You don't just snap your fingers and create an owl, and who knew?
Oh, I can make an owl for you.
Who knew? Who knew?
I can summon an owl for you.
That's cool. That's awesome.
You want me to
And
turn into
I
an owl for
appreciate
you?
that. But I kind of wanted my own owl, if that makes sense. Like,
I mean,
You know.
definitely. Like, for sure. Until you can do that, do you want me to be an owl? So I can do that.
that's if it comes up, if we end up needing an owl, then 100% yes. But I don't really need one at this exact moment.
Okay.
Levi just goes, I don't understand the need for this, but I would like to contribute. And he gives you 1 silver piece.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I hope this helps.
It does. It does. It definitely does.
I would like to ritually cast locate animals or plants and try to find the nearest owl.
Those dang city owls.
There are a few owls that are
In 5 miles.
that are in there. Yeah, there you find a few.
It's like,
Unfortunately,
do you want me to
you don't have the time to go and hunt them down, but you do find a few.
I just pat him on the shoulder and I say, "It's okay. There are some owls nearby. We'll go get you one in a bit."
Awesome. I appreciate that. So let's get ready for that play.
All right.
The theater. Love me
Yeah.
some theater.
So you
I was hoping to
are-
have like an owl, to kind of scout the place out. But that's something I guess you can do, Rosemary. If you feel like you'd probably miss the theater though if you did that. So it would have been cool.
Yeah, it
It
would
would have been cool. People here are not that friendly.
Are you just
No,
learning
I've,
that now?
I've realized that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just generally commenting. So what's everyone wearing to the theater? Because I'm definitely putting on like my nice tux.
Bold of you to assume that Rosemary has other clothes.
That's a pretty good answer there.
She has what she has, and she's wearing it.
I think at some point Levi would just pull Dell aside and be like, I don't have to put a shirt on for this, right?
I don't know.
think
I
it's
don't really. So the theaters I've been to, I would say yes, absolutely you do. But this town doesn't really give me that kind of vibe. But just personally for me, it feels really weird to not go.
I think you
Like
should be more
this.
secure in your body, Del Nadre.
Oh, I'm totally. I mean, I'm body positive. I'm not embarrassed at all. I just, I don't ever really get to dress up all that often lately.
It's just so restrictive. And God forbid something would happen and I go into a rage, I would split the nice clothes right at the seams.
Well, you see, like I've got like here. So like see, usually right here, like underneath the arms, you can only go so high before it kind of starts to bunch up. But you can see I've got like this stretchy material here. It's got a lot more like free range of movement. Like, look, I can do almost like the complete splits in these pants.
That sure is a split. I'm very impressed. I didn't know you had that sort of range of motion.
I am not
Very
quite that
dexterous.
flexible, but I can appreciate it.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, look, I can do some high kicks. Yeah. You never know when you're gonna need to do like cool karate and high kicks while you're wearing a tux.
So I'm just gonna move the map to.
See, look at this place. Oh my gosh, you.
Holy shit.
So
Oh goodness.
it looks really nice, but it also looks really run down. After a quick discussion, you actually determined that the town at one time did have a very nice theater. Unfortunately, it also went bankrupt because it was a really poor choice for 10 towns in general. And so that's why you can kind of see like those squalid conditions as you walk in, as this theater kind of just doesn't look like, I mean, the paint's peeling, although they've done some, it looked mostly to you guys like they've kind of focused all of their attention on the scenes, the people, and like the stage, although in the picture it doesn't look really nice. You can imagine that the stage itself is very immaculate, whereas everything else just kind of looks like crap. Now, from what the picture on the map shows, that is actually where you guys are sitting. You're really far away. You're on the top floor with a couple other people that you've noticed from the tavern, and the whole first floor, like everyone up, like a lot of the seats are empty. There is like a handful of individuals throughout the second floor, and there were more people on the first floor, but still the venue is at least 50% empty. Now, before we get into that point, as you guys are all walking up to the theater, a group of the miners kind of walk out and confront you guys, almost blocking your way as you went in. Heading up the group is the bandaged individual, or the individual with the bandaged nose, the miner that has kind of been keeping the group, that has been heading up the group, and he kind of just walks up and is in your way, arms folded and crossed against himself, a nice wide stance, and he's just sitting there like, I don't know what you did, but I'm still going to go through with our special election. I still think, even without the support of our benefactor, that we can help overturn this town speaker and put it in the much more capable hands of us miners. I don't know why you keep supporting this guy. I don't know what it is with you guys, but... And he kind of just loosens up a little bit, and he's like, but I hope you know no harm done. I don't know
This is the guy that I punched, right?
Yes.
Do we know his name?
No, it isn't. I looked through my notes, and I was listening to the past sessions. I don't think I've ever named him.
Levi smiles, and he points at his own nose, and he says, well, perhaps a little harm done. You look great.
Yeah, well, you know, despite me getting this, and he points to his nose, maybe it's just better to do things the right way, right? I kind of, maybe it was the pain helping me see through this, but maybe going behind the back of the speaker wasn't the best choice. And I don't know what you do with the kobolds. I haven't seen them very much, and well, I know you're going to be leaving, and I don't want to have any ill will when you leave town, especially if we see each other in the next town speaker. And he kind of makes a nod to Del Nadre.
Yeah, no hard feelings. I have to say, honestly, I've seen some things lately that lend a lot more credence to the things you're saying. It's really just the way y'all were going about that was all wrong, my guy. If y'all had been doing things a little more civilly, we probably would have been on your side.
I get that, but I mean, look, the speaker has been in power through some really stupid shit. I mean, we're about to go get first-hand experience of how much his leadership has led our town in the wrong direction. But
yeah,
still,
actually, I mean, how long has this been going on? And I gesture towards the theater.
Well, the theater's, this is the first night, but bad decisions from the speaker. He kind of looks to his guys. When was he elected? About 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 to 3 years. He's a family friend of the speaker in Bryn Shander. At least that connection helps us when it comes speaker council time. But well,
See,
2 years have been really tough on us. Now, the town of Tourmaline, just for you guys to be aware, they do the sacrifice of warmth. So once a month for the past 2 years, the speaker has designated the town that they have to turn off all hearths. They have to stop all torches. They have to give away all the blankets. And the speaker doesn't trust that everyone will be true to this, so he uses the militia to go into each town. And this is the miner kind of describing as part of the how long has this been going on answer. goes into each house and takes blankets, and then usually the process for returning the blankets has been just shit in itself as well. Organization of everything has been terrible. The executive assistant that the speaker has is just useless. Largely it comes down to it's just a really poorly managed town right now. That's, from the miners' point of view, only being kept upright by their actions.
Got it.
So yeah. So he kind of puts his hand out to Levi, because you're the one that punched him, and he's just kind of like no harm done, right?
Levi reaches out and just before shaking his hand, he
Stabs
just
him
looks at
again.
him dead in the eye and he says, perhaps if your special election goes the way you want it to, and you do manage to usurp the speaker and appoint someone from your coalition as the speaker, I strongly recommend that you continue to do what's best for the town, not just for yourselves. Additionally, cool it on the racism.
I was actually gonna say, is there any chance that you and your friends might reconsider having a few hands helping you? I mean, I assume an increased mining output might go your way in a special election. It'd be something that you could leverage for your
Oh,
party.
do you know some half orcs that when we I know some of the guys are kind of wary, but I really feel like we'd be pretty open to the benefit of some half orcs. Yeah, you got some from your village?
No, I actually don't know a whole lot about mines. I'm more into trees, but we do know some people who know the mines quite intimately and would be very happy to work for a fair wage.
Know the mines
Perhaps.
intimately. I mean I've been head miner for a while. I don't know of any guys who left. Uh, do they just know mines in general, or what are you talking about?
Perhaps we can discuss more after the performance. I don't want to make us late.
Fair. Okay, fine. We'll meet
But
afterwards at the after party.
just hold in your mind the idea that we have a few loyal workers that might assist you and your friends and might even be of benefit to you in the upcoming election.
I'll keep it in mind. Bitte, Del, do you have anything you want to say?
I didn't want to interrupt the flow of things. Can I make an insight check on just kind of like generally the conversation? I don't know if has he been lying to us the whole time about oh yeah, we're seeing your way of things? Is he like, yeah, we placed a bomb underneath your seat and I think things are going to be a lot better for us?
Roll me insight. Yeah, sure. Ooh.
God, I cannot roll anything tonight. So that's a 4.
All I can say is that something's up. Something changed on his end, and as far as you can tell, he seems He seems pretty genuine.
He's seen the light. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a quick thing. It could be what Del. I would say, given Del's mindset, what most likely he's thinking is, "Oh, we beat up your pals, and you're trying to make nice with us."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like your pawns were defeated, and now you're just gonna come and concede because you don't want to completely lose. Similarly, is basically what's happening. Bitte.
Beta's just kind of quiet for most of it, and then as they're walking, and he's just like, hang on, let me formulate my thoughts on how exactly you'd say it.
He would probably say it like this.
Yeah,
That's really good.
It's out of line, but it's not wrong. He's just, as they're walking, he's just going to kind of loom over and say, "You were an asshole, and people are dead.
He gives you a
Just
look
think
of...
about that as you make your future decisions.
He
And he
gives
walks
you-
on. He doesn't give a shit about a reply.
So he doesn't give you a reply, but you would notice that he kind of is like, he's taken by surprise when you mention people are dead, as if he is not aware, like just like a "what are you talking about" kind of situation there. If you'd like to insight check that, you're welcome to as well. However, if you just want to kind of progress along, that would also work.
I mean,
I don't think they considered the kobolds to be people.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah, that is true. I feel like him reading that specific reaction is something he can't really resist. Reading that a little bit, but he is.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to like press him on it. He's just going to file any information.
Yeah. Your
wanted
insight
to-
does come up with like two kind of possibilities there. One, it's what Rosemary says, kind of right on the nose. He doesn't really consider the kobolds people, so he doesn't really consider their deaths like anything. He's just like, who died? I don't even know. The second thing is, although it's a slightly less possibility, is that he truly had no idea what you're talking about. So you either think, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he doesn't think people are people, or he doesn't know what I'm talking about because he doesn't know that anybody actually died. And that includes thugs and stuff. So let us get now. You guys progress on inside. Nobody else introduces you. You are taken to your seat. The free seats from the inn are really far away. Although there's a bunch of really empty seats right in front of you, you are told very strictly by the seat attendant that no seat changes are allowed, and any people who come to change their seat will be escorted out of the theater. And so from executed. And so from this distant way, the lights dim inside, and the curtain opens up to reveal a rather lavish-looking individual with a pseudo-dragon on his shoulder. He bows before, and he's like, "Welcome, welcome, welcome, all you Termalaners." Is that the right thing? Termalaners? Anyways, welcome to our first show. And he kind of bows, this really big bow. The audience is just silent. Crickets are heard. And he gets up. He's like, oh, well, tonight we have a wonderful show for you. Although we have in the past with our company, we have shown off some of the great theater known well around Faerun. Tonight we have a special show for you, a collection of the greatest works of one of the most famed screenwriters known in all of Toril. We have an anthology of the works of Alexandro Ortegspear.
Alnadre groans.
Does Del know exactly who it is?
Yeah, Denati, why did you groan? Have you seen...
Ortegspear is so overdone.
It is so overdone. We will present to you guys in 4 acts 4 different stories. These stories have been taken from Ortegspear's greatest works, and we have put our own heart and soul into them, and we think that this will be a great opportunity to showcase the talent that we have here as part of the Driscoll company, or company of actors. Does anybody want to roll history to see if they recognize that name? Oh my god, what was that?
Sure.
Heck yeah, I love history. I don't know why I bother trying to roll anything tonight. It's just not going to work.
Ben knows exactly what the fuck's
Ben
up.
knows exactly. So we're just going to go straight ahead. Ben, you recognize the Driscoll Company of Actors is a once renowned playwright company that had some kind of storied past. They did really well, and then there was a rather upsetting a really bad play that kind of just like everyone was just so sickened by it. It was like a popular cultural play. They kind of did a satire on recent events in a kingdom. They kind of poked fun at the recent kingdom's loss in a big war. It caused the Driscoll Company to kind of get booted out of the kingdom. They also lost all of their money and their traveling equipment, like everything they had with them. The kingdom kind of just stole. Also, that kingdom was your kingdom, and your father was really pissed about it. And so, yeah, you're well aware of this, people, and you may also groan along with Delnadre, if you wish. You don't have to.
Yeah, I think he does, and he rolls his eyes, and then he looks around, and he's like, "Honestly, I don't know if I'll stay."
All right. So without much to do, here we go. And for these next, there are 4 acts. Each of these acts is based on one of Shakespeare's plays. If you are the first person to, as I describe it, to type in the chat the correct name of the play, you will gain 1 point of inspiration, which can be used until it's used. All right.
Oh my gosh, competitive English majoring.
All right, so I am
Can we
replacing
do this?
I am replacing the names of the actors from the shows, from the stuff, giving just a brief description. I don't believe this falls under any kind of copyright because I'm not saying anything about the play. But if you're able to understand, then yeah. All right, so Count Nanny Savage falls in love with Miles, the son of his host. Miles's cousin, Koa, I'm basically describing what the first act is, and Kezia are each duped into believing that the other is in love with them. Now, the Count, Nanny Savage, is then deceived by a malicious plot and denounces Koa. Sorry, not Koa. And denounces Miles as unchaste before they marry. Miles faints and is believed dead, but recovers to be proven innocent by a chance discovery. Then Koa wins Kezia's heart by defending Miles's honor, and to their surprise, Nanny Savage is then reunited with Miles, who he thought was dead. So yes, it is much ado about nothing. Yay!
A good version of Catherine Tate.
All right, let me redo my name generator here, and see how many more names I got here. All right. So the next act. So let's give their performance roll. I'm going to say they're going to get a 1d20 plus 4 for their performance. It was horrible. It was really bad. Not only with
I've never sat this high up.
Yeah,
in any of the plays I've been to. Is it usually this bad when you're up here?
One of the actors called for a line midway through the play. Just was like, line? And
That's an interesting... What does that mean? Is that like old-fashioned talk? Is that fancy people talk?
It's terrible talk.
I didn't think anyone could make Ortega worst. I didn't think it could be done.
All right, and so now we come to the second act. The players all, completely different scene. Now you do notice the amount of time they put and the money they put into the backdrops and the scenery is rather well done. Somebody in this company does have some talent. The actors themselves are not playing it very well. There is a lot of money thrown into this, but money does not mean talent. All right, the next act. Isaiah decides to fix his financial woes by seducing the wives of 2 wealthy merchants, Pamela and Dylan. The wives find he has sent them identical letters and takes revenge by playing tricks on. Oh my God! What did I say? What the first person's name was?
Fuck if I know.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Sorry. And decide to play tricks on Isaiah when he comes calling. With the help of their husbands and friends, the wise play one last trick in the woods to put Isaiah's mischief to an end. What?
Sounds like they just murder him.
Is that
no,
also Much Ado About Nothing?
It is not. No,
Act 2?
it is not
Oh,
Much
okay.
Ado About
No.
Nothing. It is a completely different play by Shakespeare. So you have an opportunity to guess. I will give you guys till the end of me singing my song. Dun, dun,
Uh,
dun, 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 dun,
What is it? A strange thing happened on the way to the forum?
dun, 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 dun,
Funny thing happened on the way to the
dun,
forum?
dun, dun,
Is that even a Shakespeare play?
I'm
It's
not gonna.
not like
I'm not gonna answer
Is
yes
it-
or no. Basically, just
Both?
make your own guess. Or if you can't guess, you can't.
I
guess.
know
That's fine,
like
too.
2 Shakespeare plays, so
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I got nothing
dun, dun, dun,
for this one.
I'm assuming based on name that it's the Merry Wives of Windsor.
dun, 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 dun. That is correct. It is the Merry Wives of Windsor. So, Rachel, you have 2 points of inspiration now.
Woo!
Congratulations. All
Would
right.
help if I was rolling for literally anything other than befriending dogs.
All right. So, here we go. Act 3. Oh, let me roll their performance.
There's literally nowhere to go but up.
It has improved. It has improved significantly. It may just be that this act has played to the strengths of the actors, or that different actors were put in place of the main characters. You also suspect that this opening night could be a sort of recruitment and or trial run to see who is the actual good actor or not. So, the next one. A coven of witches tells a general named Amin. Okay, well, it was pretty easy there.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I
as soon as
mean-
the witches came up.
That he will become the king of wherever he is from. Neverwinter. Let's go with that. Encouraged by his wife,
Neverwinter doesn't have a king.
Amin.
I yell out
It's
at the
Golden.
actors.
Amin kills the king, becomes the new king, kills more people out of paranoia. A civil war erupts to overthrow the speaker, or the king, and which results in more death. And Macbeth, that is correct, although not the right spelling, but still good enough.
I didn't know how quick Ray was gonna be.
I wanted to give everyone else a chance.
She has a
I
chance.
have-
I was really proud of my Much Ado About Nothing.
All right. This next one should probably be pretty easy if you're aware of it. A king divides his. Oh, let me roll. Don't answer anything. Don't roll. Don't type nothing.
I see you typing.
12. All right. So here we go. Act 4. A king divides his kingdom among his 2 daughters, Demi Lee and Ella May, who flatter him, and yes, it is King Lear. Congratulations. Who flatter him, and he banishes his 3rd daughter, Victor, who loves him. The eldest daughters both reject him at their homes, and so the king goes mad and wanders through a storm. The everlasting winter is what they use for the storm. The banished daughter returns with an army of nomads, but they all lose the battle, and the king and his daughters and more die. Pretty much by the end of that act, every single actor, including the person that played a tree in the background, are just dead on the ground. And let's see.
I'm not even watching at this point. Dell is spending like basically since Act 3 sheathing and unsheathing a dagger in various like hiding it on his body, like, all right, and it's up the sleeve. Is it visible? All right, and I'm taking it and I'm like sliding it into my boot and just spending the whole time secreting this dagger about my person and paying
roll
no
me
attention to the place.
perception then. Because you did notice the costume of the speaker, and you did point out that he was Macbeth, King Macbeth, in
Macbeth.
in the 3rd act. He kind of showed up. He was
I point with the dagger at one point and lean over to Levi.
He's pretty terrible.
That's a speaker.
Wait, so
You
he
see-
actually played the
He played the
he
main.
played Macbeth?
Yeah, he played Macbeth, or King Macbeth. The King of Macbeth, because Macbeth is the woman, right?
No.
Lady
that would be
Macbeth is
Lady
the
Sorry,
woman.
Lady Mac. He played the man Macbeth.
Man Macbeth.
Man Macbeth.
Man Beth.
Man
Man
Beth.
Breath men.
Beth man. Yeah, he.
There's
played,
no need to feel down.
He played. That's a
Bethman,
woman.
get yourself off the ground.
All right, so yeah, you guys all kind of the theater ends. There are people who walk around the crowd asking for tips. Do any of y'all give a tip for the play?
No.
I have a tip. You shouldn't say line during the first one.
The person who said line was actually the person who was walking around, and so he just kind of looks at you and he's just like.
That's my
Beta,
tip.
I meant tip like money, like gold, like I'm a
Yeah.
struggling artist here.
Beta, when the play ends, he stands up and loudly applauds. He's just like fucking loving it. Every bit of it. He has been in rapt attention. He has been he's been gnawing on jerky the whole time, and during
Me
the
too.
suspense he was like, oh gosh, what is going to happen, and gnawing, and like he was just so into it the whole time, the joy and faith of a child, and standing ovation at the end. And when they come by for tips, he shakes their hand heartily and rips off a hunk of jerky in their hand. He goes, just wonderful, just wonderful.
Yeah.
Probably Rosemary's first experience with theater, and she has like a little bit of the wonder and joy. Like it was like she was like staring at the backgrounds the whole time, like it's a very pretty picture. But she's like, also, what happened? Why didn't the people of the first act come back? I saw one of them, but they were another person. It was a very confusing story.
Wasn't it? Exactly, that's part of the magic.
Oh goodness, yeah. You guys
Maybe
generally
you're just not supposed to understand it.
really enjoy it. However, is this the kind of situation where you would like to go to the after party? It's being
feel
held,
like
it's being held in a tavern, so it's not like it's anywhere special.
We've
Wait,
discussed,
the
like,
after party
having-
for what?
For the theater,
Like the actors are going to be there?
yes.
Are any of them attractive?
Del Nadre actually noticed one of them as one of the persons he spent a rather late night with. In fact, I know I had asked Del.
And she was in the play?
She was in the play, yes. If I'm looking back at where the name was.
Yeah, I'll go to the after party.
It was relatively attractive. Let's go with that, Levi.
But are there any other ones?
There's nobody that's actually attractive. There's no objectively attractive people there.
This is so sad.
Lady Macbeth was played by an 80-year-old.
Levi's just too hot. It's a shame.
Nope. Everybody had their shirt on, by the way.
Yeah, Levi's the only one with his shirt off. It's fine.
All
He's
right,
used to it.
Well, let's for those of you who go to the after party, you have a rather fun night. Despite the actors being just terrible actors, they are generally good people, and you get a night full of free drinks provided by the town speaker, also provided by Vernon, the person at the Blue Clam, and you all make it back into the tavern late at night. For those who went to the Did anybody not go to the after party?
No, I think Levi would have gone mostly just so that if the other two didn't want to go, Levi would have gone just so that Del wasn't there by himself.
Rosemary definitely went because she doesn't see a reason not to, and it seems like fun.
All right, Bitte, you
And
there?
also, she did tell what's his face that she was gonna try to tell him about the new
yes.
workforce.
The miner was not there at the after party. you may have to find him afterwards. But let us, if everyone went, Bitte, I assume you also went, given your
Oh
excitement.
yeah, Beta. As soon as he found out he got to meet them, he got like the Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson excited laughter.
Yeah. Well then, I want everyone to roll me a disadvantage Constitution check, as with the drinks flowing freely and the party going wild, you all had a very difficult time stopping yourselves from getting just absolutely trashed.
Except for Levi, because he doesn't drink.
Oh God,
This is true.
y'all!
It's not going well.
You're
Levi's,
gonna make Rosemary be the sober one.
roll me a Constitution check, because there were other illicit activities there. And although you did not drink, somebody did persuade you into trying some of the funky grass.
Levi would never.
Well,
It's
Levi,
illegal contraband.
Levi did not recognize it was illegal until he already had some.
This sounds like a setup to me.
And I would say Dell specifically was a key component in getting you to try this.
Yeah, I mean, I was already drinking, but then as soon as like the pipe weed came out, I was just like, oh, yeah.
All right, so yeah, each of you come back to the room just trashed, to the point where none of you actually remember your night before. Early in the morning of the next morning, you all, head pounding, hear this just loud banging on the door. The dogs and the capybara just all go noise is just splitting each of your headaches. Just, you are all
Levi goes to the door and cracks it open. He's wearing nothing but underwear.
You see behind the innkeeper, the lady who has been kind of the hostess of the room. There are two large burly guards. The innkeeper is kind of just like, hey, I just want to let you know that after last night's events, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to leave the tavern this morning. We would prefer that you just kind of leave quietly. However, if you choose not to leave so quietly, these gentlemen here will assist you in your quiet leaving.
We have to leave. Why exactly?
Well, unfortunately, the inn has a policy when you break a number of things. Really, usually just start with one thing. But considering the amount of items that y'all broke last night, in the main room of the tavern, unfortunately, we're gonna have to let you guys leave, and we will be pursuing other avenues on trying to kind of reimburse ourselves with the amount of damage that y'all did.
I have no recollection of these damages. Can you please give me an itemized list of the things we damaged?
I am not surprised that you do not have a recollection of what happened last night. Given that I tried to get you to stop multiple times, and you said that these abs can't stop; they are too hard.
They are indeed very, very hard.
And yes, I'm sure, but you did not have to prove to us by slamming a bunch of our items in the entrance hall against your chest to see whether or not your chest was harder to them. We lost a number of vases, one that my grandmother had, brought to me herself and hand painted, along with some chairs, tables, and there was at a time where you tried to prove that the wall was less strong than your abs, and there is a crack that we may have to see whether or not it our foundation.
So what you're saying is,
and that is just the problems that you had. Unfortunately, your other compatriots were just as rowdy as you guys were. One gentleman brought in a deer from outside and began to skin and clean it while loudly describing how to clean and properly skin a deer in the middle of the hall.
This seems like an important lesson in the wintertime.
Yeah,
Beta, covered in blood, is just like, oh, thank God.
The other
Bell
one
pokes his head around the corner of the door. I'm just wrapped in Levi's cloak.
Yes.
What did I do?
Well, it wasn't so much that you did, it was what you allowed your dogs to do, which was quite a lot. And the lady in there, yeah, the very scary looking one.
My dog is very well behaved.
Yes, but while you were a dog, you were not so well behaved.
That sounds right. I think he dared me to do some stuff.
You turned into a dog at one point, and I don't know if you were just trying to show them how to go to the restroom. You were very frustrated they didn't want to go to the restroom outside, so you brought them inside and showed them all how to go to the restroom. I don't know what the physics and magics go, but it did seem like there was a humanoid amount of poop that came out of you.
Tracks.
That tracks, yes. It's just a little bit much. You also let loose a bunch of animals, and one of them we don't think that you brought from outside. They just kept coming out of your hat. We don't know how they kept coming. They just kept coming.
Yeah. I take off my hat and nothing comes out of it. I'm like, yeah. I think I might have used that up for a little bit.
Levi looks around the room and spots his coin pouch. And he pulls out a gold piece and he hands it to the lady and he says, "I'm very sorry about the vases and the tables and the other stuff."
She looks at it and looks up to you and she's like, unfortunately, like, given the amount of damage that y'all had, the insurance company is really going to be taking care of all of that. We had to
perfect. And then he takes it back.
We had to make a claim. Now, however, we are in a little bit of a grace period. The insurance instructor has not gotten here. I know that ultimately, while we will have some repairs done, we won't necessarily see any of the profits from this. There is an opportunity now that, should you so wish, that you may make a kind and sizable donation to the tavern to help kind of make up for what you did.
You need us to break anything else on our way out?
No, we would really prefer it not to. You did also go into a number of our guests' rooms and wake them up and tell them all about your adventures that you've had so far. They're kind of a bit outlandish, and a number of our guests have already requested that they have their nights refunded and comped as per this distraction.
Well, if we're giving out stories, they should be paying us. I mean, they're quite remarkable stories.
We told better stories than the theater did.
I'm sure
ours actually had a point.
Truly, that is not debatable. Even in your drunken stupor, your stories were very entertaining. They were not requested, however, at 3:30 a.m. in the morning.
How soon do you need us gone?
Right now, we are here to help you move. There is a window in your room. We would kindly just kind of ask that you just dump everything out of there so that nobody else inside the tavern can be reminded of all the just the bad times you put them into. Additionally, you asked for an itemized list, and it does come out to be about 37 gold pieces worth of damage that you did.
Sure.
I'm going to... just in the time that we were talking, you just happened to have an itemized list that did not exist? Just materialize. Interesting.
It is very interesting. What also is interesting is the fact that you left your deer carcass there without actually doing anything with it. All you did was skin and then left it there.
Are you not in a food shortage?
We
was I not told that you were in a food shortage? Yeah, I think I was. And, I also think that your massively overpriced room, when you take it to the natural exchange rate, that makes us about even. So, yeah, let's go. Goodbye. Bread, butter, out the window.
Rosemary is going to count out 37 gold pieces and leave it on
Rosemary
Dieter shakes his head at Rosemary, just like,
Levi looks at the lady. He says, "Well, you see, Rosemary is naked, so I'm going to close the door so your guards don't do weird things, and we're going to pack our stuff and go out the window, and I will open the door when we are ready."
Beta is in his underwear out the window, unfazed by the cold. He's just pulling capybaras down.
Yeah, Levi shuts the door.
All right. So yeah. So, Rosemary, are you paying this out of like the group, or are you paying it out of your own? Do you even have?
Hang it out of what
Rosemary-
I have in my party, or not in the party, but in my personal like sheet.
Oh my goodness.
Where did you get 37 gold?
I don't know. Apparently, I had 81 gold.
Jeez.
What the hell? I have 5.
Oh.
That's a lot.
I think
don't
we
know where
have
I got
50.
it.
We have 50 gold from the
From Tourmaline.
from the
Yeah.
tourmaline job that hasn't been split up.
I thought there was something else that got split.
You guys got money from... I mean, you've gotten money from pretty much everything. You got money from when you were in Goodmead. You got money from when you were in Caer Konig. Actually, I don't know if you actually
Maybe
got...
I'm just
Honestly,
the only one who's been
our-
like actively putting it into my inventory when we say, okay, let's split this up.
Yeah, it might be. But in Lonelywood, you guys have gotten 80 gold in the past 2 quests.
So that's 20 gold apiece. All right, hold on. I got to add that to my inventory right now.
Anyways, Rosemary will pay the 37 gold from her pocket.
No, she won't.
Okay, well, however that comes down to it, I trust each of you all to stay trustworthy when it comes to your how much gold you have. And you guys are kind of pushed out there pretty quickly. Now, we're going to take a break, or not break, we're going to stop for a moment here and kind of have an opportunity here. You have mentioned, you've already come up with a few rumors that are basically quests. These are your quest threads to follow. You have the random distress signal. You have the black cabin, or the cabin. You have the contest in the Goliath's hometown, and you have the random or the raid nomads. That's 4 kind of things you can progress.
All right.
Do you want to kind of just start us off with us all like, okay, we're just going to go straight to that? Or do you all want an opportunity to kind of I'm going to steal something from City of Mist and have a photo montage? Which is, let's say we take the next week or so, maybe even less, maybe more, where everyone just kind of like, okay, we're going to meet back in Caer Konig or wherever because we're going to deal with this. Or do you want to stay as a party and kind of go on? Because remember, you've only been together like...
So each person take a subplot.
Not necessarily you all have to go out with those, but it's more like an opportunity, like before we get into this next chapter, you kind of resolve anything that you as your character would have wanted to do in 10 Towns. So this could be something like Levi wants to go back to Lonelywood to talk, or Rosemary wants to go back to Lonelywood to meet up with to meet with Lena, and it's been a few days just kind of like trying to say hello and get to know them. It could be
I feel
that
like
Del Nadre needs to go back to Goodmead to go and deal with any speaker issues. Bitte could be kind of dealing with some of the deliveries that he hasn't gotten around to that he kind of accepted, or just hey, Bitte wants to go and do whatever he wants to do. It's an opportunity for each of you to do whatever you want to do, to say what you're doing as a whole, but to also be able to do secret things that you just keep to yourself, but is still going to be on the stream.
I feel like while Levi is still on like a timer, essentially, Rosemary isn't gonna want to like leave him. She wants to go find the house with the witch or whatever, the oracle or something,
Right.
like as soon as possible.
Now, Levi, I think our timeline for that is like somewhere in the 1 month range.
I've got 27 days.
27 days. Okay, so give or take a couple of days. He has 27 days. So it's not absolutely...
But also, like, we're not entirely sure that woman is going to have the answer immediately, so I'd rather go figure that out so that we don't, like, hit a glitch in that and then be like, oh, well, she's out of town for 10 days.
That's true. You still have, like, kind of, like, the opportunity of, like, saying, like, hey, we have some recovery we need to do before we get prepared for going off, because, it's like, you're going out to go find a cabin in the middle of the tundra. You don't know what you're going to uncover. And at the same time, you don't know how long you're going to be gone. So you may want, it may just be like, you're not really sidetracking, but you're just getting prepared for what you're going to do next.
I would like to put forth to the group, like, as we're talking through this, or generally speaking, yeah, I think we're all going to be kind of heavily focused on a Levi thing, because it feels weird to be like, all right, so you're a ticking time bomb, but this letter sounds kind of important. So I'm going to say, since we're nearby, let's head down to Bryn Shander, and I'm going to share the information I got from the speaker's office about potentially bad magic in the Black Cabin, and that there's a gnome in Bryn Shander that might know more, potentially related to the word copper. I don't know if that's his name or if that means something else, but maybe we should learn a little bit more about this cabin before we just go.
That's fair. That's
And
valid.
then if I'm able to convince everyone to go to Bryn Shander, I would also like to be heavily focused on the 250 gold payout note.
Yeah,
Like,
while we're there.
Yeah.
So yes, you're trying to.
We haven't really had much of an opportunity since the mine to do any kinds of short resting, but I'd like to very soon, if everyone is okay with it, take an opportunity to short rest and try and identify that crystal, because I feel like it has some kind of relation to that ongoing things.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to be able to identify like the crystal skull thing, and also like see if we can get those cursed items uncursed.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as I think when we talked about it last, when it came to like uncursing the items, the paladin said it would require a lot. The really what all she could do was kind of just make it how you want to say, less like, just take away his connection from it. As far as like actually uncursing the item, you do know that it is going to be a bit more of an uphill battle at that. However, not to say it can't be done. So from what I can kind of hear, at least, it kind of seems like everyone does want to continue on. So the Black Cabin would be something we wanted to pursue, and that does take us to Bryn Shander. Now, as we progress through, do we want to, because we are following along the road to Targos, do we want to step into Targos, or do we want to just kind of continue going to Bryn Shander? Personally,
I want to avoid Targos for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Targos is something we deal with in the future.
Okay. No, I like that.
We do still have a couple kobolds with us that we haven't resolved that yet.
Yes. So, Rosemary, would you like to have that be one of the things that you...
Yeah, that if we're doing the snapshot time skip thing, she probably would try to either get them a job in Tourmaline or, like, I guess towards Goodmead.
All right. Roll me persuasion with disadvantage. This is your first attempt when you brought it back up to the miner, because this is the person who ultimately will be the person you have to. The kobolds are miners. They want to work with the mine because that's just, they don't like to work in the sunlight. They want to be somewhere they're familiar with, and the miner really does not want to say this, but you're gonna have 3 chances to come up with them. Depending on how you do,
I think
you get better and better.
I think Levi would go with Rosemary if that's okay, especially with the whole cool it on the racism.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Still gonna roll it with disadvantage. However, Levi, what is your charisma modifier?
It is +1,
Okay.
but
or
with
what is your persuasion modifier then? Still just +1.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, my persuasion modifier is +1, but again, I have my superiority dice thing that I can do.
Okay.
I can also give you guidance on that.
So no guidance for this.
Okay.
Levi is going to add a +1 to whatever roll you have, and at any point, should he want to, he can roll his superiority to add it. So your first thing is going to be persuasion with disadvantage to the miner. This is your first interaction with him.
Is that me rolling, or is that Levi rolling?
That's you rolling. This is you. You're the one who's going to do it.
Okay. All right, so I have a -1 modifier on my thing.
Okay. So then you just
So how does
rolling
that-
you're just rolling at base because Levi gives you a +1. So basically,
Levi evens me out to a straight roll.
yeah, basically just straight roll. So from in the future ones, you can do a straight roll. So you get an 8. He, as expected, is not open at all to the idea of hiring kobolds to work in the mine. It doesn't go very well for you, and so you kind of get back, but you learn some stuff about where he's trying to go. You talk to a couple of the other miners, and you come back at him with your second persuasion. Now, okay, so this is going to be a base roll. All right, you've already lost 1. You're going for a bit. This is just your base roll. You're not disadvantaged. You get a +1.
All right, normal base roll. So I'm just gonna roll a d20
you don't
right
get
here.
a +1. You just get a roll, just a regular d20.
Just regular d20. Okay.
Just a regular d20 here. 9. It does
Motherfucker.
not do well. Levi, would you like to roll your superiority die here?
Yeah, I'll burn a superiority die.
All right. Add it to it.
Give me a second to just denote that I used it. I assume I'm back at full health now, yeah?
I will say that all this stuff will happen, like, you guys may get, like, a day, so none of this stuff will affect, like, spell slots or your superiority die, so you don't have to really make a note of it.
Yeah.
You'll
Okay,
have
wait.
time.
So she gets to try this 3 times. Do I only get to roll the die once?
Yes.
What do you think, Rosemary? Should I use it now or should I save it? It's a D8.
I mean, a 9 has potential if you roll high enough.
Okay.
I think.
This is a good turning point. If you succeed here, it will help her on the next roll. If you don't succeed here, you can still help her on the next roll. It's just like... Okay. 12?
So 12.
So that would be a 12.
Alright, so it's better. Let's roll. He's starting to see your point. However, you weren't able to convince him enough to give you advantage on your next roll on trying to convince him. So you have this last chance now. You're still in it because honestly, if Ben had not helped you get above 10, you wouldn't have had this last chance. So it was helpful that he used the dice there. If he had rolled much better, you would have gotten advantage of this thing. But last roll, straight roll, d20. You are looking for a 14 to convince him to keep the kobolds. Otherwise, they are with you, or you are letting them loose.
Okay. God fucking damn it!
Oh my god! Oh.
So close, and I can't give myself guidance on this.
You know what? Let's do it. But you have to get a 15 with guidance, so you need to be rolling a 2 or better on your d4.
All right.
Ah, success.
15.
Okay. He is willing to give them a trial period. You through some close negotiation, the kobolds have been agreed to be split up. So each of the kobolds is going to go to 3 of the miners' houses where they are going to be kept. And he says it to me nicely. You're not guaranteeing that they're not going to kill the kobolds. However, they aren't really going to give them like the best conditions, but they are going to give them, and you believe him, an opportunity to work. Should they perform well, and this will be a roll if you ever come back to Tourmaline, they may get a chance. Otherwise, he will just say, otherwise I'm just going to kick them out and leave them out, and they'll do whatever they want to do. They'll survive. They're monsters.
Well, why do they need to stay in the people's houses when they could just stay in the mine where it's safe for them?
Because the miner doesn't trust the kobolds from not stealing their gems from the mine and then leaving. He just thinks that the kobolds are just there for their own personal gain and are there to hoard themselves because they're draconic in nature, and that's all they like to do.
Okay. I'll make sure that the kobolds have like a concept of where Goodmead is in case things go sideways.
Yeah.
That they can like migrate there and maybe be able to help.
Okay. Roll me. Goodness, what would be a best way to help describe to them?
Nature survival.
Let's go with survival.
Okay.
Because they're not gonna really just follow the road, because they might get killed by just random people on the road.
Yeah.
They are still kobolds. Okay. They may or may not have a pretty good chance of making it to Goodmead. We'll figure that out later in the campaign. But I will make a note of it that there are some kobolds.
They're getting paid, right?
After the probationary period, if they decide they will become a miner, they will get paid a fair wage.
And how long
They
is
get
the
hired? Yes.
What?
they'll get back pay if they get hired. Yes.
He didn't say anything like that. He just said that they'll have the opportunity to get paid, but they will be taken care of. All their food and needs will be taken care of to the best of their ability while they are staying with the miners.
Okay, that might be the best we can afford at this moment.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I guess we tell the kobolds the info and we introduce them to this head miner, and we make sure that we're there, and I make it very clear that we'll be checking back in on the situation,
All right.
and that if they need if any either the kobolds or the miners need to speak to us, send word to Goodmead.
All right. Now, Bite Del Nadre, you has had basically one day to get your. It's kind of like, think of it like this: you had a whole day in Tourmaline, and then you're going to be using some of your time, kind of traveling a bit. You're gonna cut through and avoid Targus by just cutting south across that road to Brinchander. You've basically set it up so that you're going to arrive in Brinchander kind of late at night, but you still have a little bit of time in Tourmaline to get things done. Is there anything you guys would like to do while you're there in Tourmaline before you leave?
I'll let Vita go first.
Bite, is there anything you would like to do while you were there in Tourmaline for majority of a day?
All right, I'll go first.
Bite, by the way, you are muted if that does make any difference. But go on, Dale.
How fucking long? God damn it. I've been throwing in one-liners.
I have to say,
Every time.
I have not heard your voice since we began the montage part. So yeah.
Haven't heard your voice since the hotel room discussion.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Great stuff. Grand. Yeah, he doesn't really have anything he wants to do in Tourmaline. He might craft some more darts, and I'm trying to debate whether I want to spend 25 gold to make a healing potion. But
That's a decent price for a healing potion.
it is. It is indeed.
No, we are about to be in a bigger city if you want to save your gold.
Well, I mean, it's half price because he's just making it.
Yeah, but in case there's anything else you want to buy is what I meant.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, he'll hold off. Why not? And he'll study. He'll spend some time studying the journal from the druid Darlena. Yes.
All right. Yes. No, Darlena is not that's a completely different campaign.
Yeah, Darlena's the Medusa in our Eberron campaign.
No,
man,
it was
funny.
Ravison is the name of the frost druid that you stole the journal of.
Okay, yeah.
All right, roll me an Arcana check. With, I would say, disadvantage because you're not a druid, so it's kind of similar, but
I mean, the magics he practice are vaguely druidic, but yeah, no, he's just like, I got to ask Rosie about this. This is just, I mean,
yeah.
not my strong suit on the best of days from the best of writers, and Ravison was loopy AF.
Yeah, but it's both the madness of Ravison herself, kind of just like half writing things in different pages, but also just while you are a ranger, which kind of has similarities, you are also a planar ranger, which you're kind of taking a step further away from the nature arcana and more into the otherworldly arcana. So
he gets distracted by like a weird piece of erotica she wrote. It's just like, Just like, I mean, it's not arousing, it's more just weird, but I can't take my eyes off it. I've read it like 4 times. Bing!
It's literally just like 2 pages in the middle of the thing. It just turns into a romance novel.
Yeah, he finds one of the actors and are like, no, seriously, listen to this. It's no, it might be a good idea for one of your shows.
They're all
like a bad fan fiction reading.
They're all really weirded out. They're just like, okay, whoa, take a step back here, dude. Can you just leave my house? I don't need to hear about this. But yeah, all right. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'm sorry, Del Nadre, you did not go, did you?
Yeah.
Did you want to take another shot at trying to find your materials?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that because everything I want to do is in Bryn Shander.
Okay, you have a better chance. So let's just roll straight charisma, and it'll be a pretty low DC on trying to find these things. Yep, you're 16. Able to scrounge up the materials you needed, and you happen to find somebody who had some antique bronze brazier that their parents had, that they just kind of left through in their attic, and they're like, yeah, they kind of just gave this to us on our wedding day, and we've never done anything with it, so you can please take it off my hands.
Oh, you don't? Sure, yeah, I'll definitely find a use for it. I'm going to add that to our sled gear because I'm not going to carry that thing around myself.
Okay. Yeah, it is like a giant. You all like get your stuff ready together. You meet back up, and Del Nadre is just dragging this like big sack, and then there's like giant bronze brazier, and it's just like, hey, can you find some room for this? As he sets it down.
You can pack stuff inside of it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, first things first, I'm gonna, burn some stuff inside of it before we put stuff in it.
Okay. So do you do your ritual?
I am going to cast the Find Familiar spell.
Ooh.
Refresh me on how you know that. I know you know that from somewhere, but
because I'm an arcane trickster.
That's right. Okay. That is when you changed, right? Your background?
Well, I mean, I got that when I hit level 4. I learned a new spell, so I learned Find Familiar.
Gotcha. Yes, my bad. Okay, so, all right. Well, you begin to leave Tourmaline, and you notice, though, as you were on the road to Bryn Shander, there's been a shift in the weather. It's almost as if, like, it's not like the weather's just worse, but the temperature has dropped. The overall temperature during the day, like a normal day, has dropped a significant number of degrees. Not something so life-threatening, but something that's definitely going to wear on you guys even more. And so it is at this point in the campaign that I'm going to introduce something that should have really been done the whole time, but I kind of felt was going to be pretty negative against you guys. But 10 towns, or Icewind Dale, as you guys travel through the tundra, does factor in exhaustion into your travels. So just be aware now that as the magical winter has kind of increased and intensified, that spending time lost in the blizzard of Icewind Dale as you're trekking across the tundra can have some lasting effects that may delay and make more pressing Levi's adventure.
So it probably is good that we're going on like actual roads as opposed to.
For now, yes. Should you decide to, once you get to Bryn Shander, it really does make more sense just to take the roads up to Caer Konig, and you don't get lost on the road. So yes, you won't have any exhaustion levels as you are on the road. However, when you leave and you're in the tundra, that is when it starts to become more pressing. Bitte will help you a lot because it'll be a lot harder to find things, but there will be opportunities where you're still rolling despite Bitte. So why are there 2 Del Nadres here? Oh,
well, because we still had the old Del Nadre token.
Just delete that one. There you go.
I'm blind.
Oh.
Oh, I think that.
I did not.
You might have to drag your own Del Nadre onto the map, my dude.
Well, I did. It's just that my own Del Nadre doesn't have vision.
Ah.
The new Del Nadre token.
It's daylight mode though. You should.
Now I can see everything.
Oh, okay. I just had to update that. I just had to open up the settings. And okay, well, yeah. So you guys make your way to Bryn Shander then.
Quick, can I do my find familiar before we leave Tourmaline?
Oh yeah.
Yay! Does anyone want to help me with this ritual? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Rosemary, are you?
Oh, yeah, I'll help you.
How'd your thing go? Okay. All right.
Good.
That's awesome. All right. So anyhow, so like I said, my sister has this owl, and that's cool. But you know what would be way cooler is like an eagle or something, right?
Right. So
Right, okay.
we just do a thing, and then an eagle shows up, and it's your friend.
Yeah, like I mean that's the way she does it. It's like apparently it's not actually an eagle. Apparently it's a fey creature who looks like an eagle.
Nice. Sounds fun. That is actually kind of some of my spells as well, is that it's not actually an animal, it's a thing that looks like an animal.
Right, that's kind of why I thought you might have some, insight on this whole thing, but...
Yeah, but I'll help you.
Alright, so apparently we're going to sit down and we're going to take an hour to cast Find Familiar.
If it's like negative 49 degrees, that's like if you're out for 10 seconds, you have frostbite.
That is what it says here as the average temperatures during her everlasting winter.
Do the people who wrote this understand what happens to a body when you're at negative 49 degrees?
I think it's like more the assumption the people here are like when you have heavy winter clothes, like the winter clothes in this adventure is like really described as like really bundled up, right? But I would say
you gotta have like no skin on display and like probably goggles for your eyes, because when the wind chill was negative 50, it was like you can't be out for more than 10 seconds without getting frostbite.
Yeah, it's pure Inuit going on out there.
Yeah,
for the most part. That's why even Beta, who is explicitly resistant to cold, still wears coats.
Yeah.
So
Levi, are you sure
I think Levi's going to have to put a shirt on.
So beforehand, the temperatures wasn't this cold. So this is the new average, I should say. Because beforehand, I wasn't really following the extreme cold guidelines. Now I'm putting more emphasis on it as we build into our campaign. So yeah, even Levi now finds that you definitely need to have t-shirts on, if not more than that. Like if not like a full-on coat.
Levi has a thick wool sweater that has nipples and abs knitted into it.
He has like the titty window sweater.
Yeah.
It's skin colored, so people at first glance don't even realize he's wearing a sweater.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a nice little beige knit sweater that his grandma knitted him that he never pulls out, but it's just a little nippy right now, so he's gonna put it on.
All right. So as you guys are walking along, you do notice that the sky has gotten darker to the point where outside light now is dim between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and dark.
Wait, sorry, were we able to summon an eagle?
We were, yes, through your assistance and Del Nadre's awareness of eagles through looking at zoos.
We definitely burned some charcoal, some incense, and some herbs in a brazier. Mumbled some magic words. Spent an hour concentrating, and from the flames bursts Tansy.
Tansy?
That's a fucking Pepin or Puffin.
Puffin?
Yeah, Puffin.
I love it!
Now, is Del Nadre just like, this thing is an eagle?
No, Del Nadre looks very confused.
Oh, goodness. Okay, let me...
I look over at Rosemary and I'm just like...
does Tansy have night vision?
Tansy does, because Tansy is, in fact, a reskinned owl.
Okay. What distance is the night vision?
120 feet.
Okay. All right. I'm just.
To be fair, I don't think the eagle's feathers would have held up with the cold that much, but I look at her!
Yeah, I literally just
like-
Googled Arctic bird at one point, because I was like, what does do well in snow? And
Yeah.
puffins. Puffins do pretty good. Penguins usually also, but not quite as mobile as I was looking for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we have it be canon that the eagle is always like super puffed up to stay warm?
What is that
This
one
is better.
series? There's like a series of movies like that were Disney movies where one of the main characters, Little Familiars, is a puffin.
Was it?
Goodness.
I don't remember
It's like,
that.
it's like from the 90s.
How much health does?
Not
puffin have?
now, Arctic Puffin.
Not now,
Um,
Arctic Puffin.
That's going to be a big 1.
Okay, that's what I thought. They just have a 1. All right, there you go. Tansy and I use the select token. So now when you pull Tansy from your character sheet, it will show that. All right.
Oh.
And you
What were
should-
the other? So the green was health.
um,
Red is passive
oh.
perception,
Yeah, I guess I can put that there.
which for Tansy is a 13. And then armor class is an 11.
There you go. All right. So yeah, you were able to make Tansy the
Squawk.
Puffin routine collectively looked at as an eagle. Bitte's just like, that's not an eagle.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you talking about the dim light. I was just like, oh, wait, the Find Familiar ritual keeps getting interrupted.
Yes. So that's said. So basically, I'm just describing of like the ways that Icewind Dale's the book has written. You know, the kind of the situation of Icewind, of like the everlasting winter. But I was making it a bit. I had training wheels on as you guys eased into the campaign. Although a year in, it's time to take the training wheels off.
Yeah.
So yeah, so illumination, you know, it's never brighter than dim. Twilight extends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's otherwise dark until Orl's aurora or the full moon appear in the night sky. So there is also be careful for frigid water, be careful for blizzards, be careful for avalanches, and be careful for the extreme cold. And outside of that, everything else we've been following pretty well. So you're good to go there. Just you all have cold weather gear, so you all automatically don't really have to worry about the extreme cold weather unless something happens to your cold weather gear or you find yourself in colder situations.
Yeah, probably when we get like away from town for a couple days.
Yeah, kind of just think of it like as you go into the tundra, the first couple of days that you're out there, you're okay. The longer you spend in the tundra, away from like, you know, the ability to have a good night's sleep, that wears on you, and then it gets into the fact of like, oh shit, okay, well maybe I'm, you know, you can't resist the cold forever, even if you have weather. If you have, it slowly gets back on you, especially as you get into the weather, because it does mention here the wind chill can lower the degrees by 80 degrees, so it could be a maximum of negative 160. No, that's not right. Negative 130.
Yeah, that does just feel like they don't quite understand science when they write these things.
Shit.
Maybe it's just because it's like D&D and like magic, and like the people of 10 towns just like magically have a better reaction to it. I don't know. This is strictly just in the tundra. It is not. Each of the towns provide their own natural warmth that it doesn't feel. It's cold, but it doesn't feel as bad. Probably just, you know, people being around. Anyways, you guys make your way. You're in Brynch. You make your way to. Oh fuck, I fucked up. You make your way to Brinchander.
Wow, where is that town?
Just right there.
Oh, I fucked up?
Yeah.
I accidentally clicked something that was on my bookmarks instead of clicking on Brinchander. So, give me a moment as I. Here we go. Go ahead and delete the old Del Nodre. So we can see we have a couple of places we've added here. The Dragon's Hide, Black Iron, and Ice Cell things.
I'm blind.
Let's go. Bryn Shander should be daylight mode.
House of the Morning Lord.
Good. Better Del?
Nope.
No.
Black.
Okay.
Okay, wait, now I can see. I just didn't have a token that actually dragged on. I clicked and dragged like 3 times, so I assumed it worked, and I was just not seeing them. I was like, oh man, there's going to be 3 Dells just sitting there. Wow, okay, everybody just immediately scatters into town. I thought we were going to like find a place. Whatever, that's fine. I got errands to do too.
Oh, no, this is just where I loaded in.
Yeah,
I know, I'm joking.
All right, well, yeah, we are back in town.
We're back!
I'm sorry, yeah, you come back to Bryn Shander. It's late at night. Let me pull up Bryn Shander so you guys are aware. I believe the Northlook is a tavern, where the House of the Morning Lord is the inn. Let me just double check.
I thought the House of the Morning Lord was like a religious thing, because I thought the Morning Lord was like Pelor.
Oh, yes, it is. The Northlook,
I thought it was Lathander.
The Northlook is both. The House of the Morning Lord actually worships Amontor.
So the note about people hearing weird noises said to come to the House of the Morning Lord. Is that still correct? Because you said it.
Sorry,
you said look for them at the House of the Morning Lord, which is the tavern.
It is still correct. They are still at the House of the Morning Lord. I was mistaken.
Okay.
The Northlook is both the inn and the tavern. Also on point of what Bitte had said is Amonitor, the Morning Lord, is a name that the Southerners use to describe Lathander.
Oh, cool.
However, yeah, nope, never mind. Nothing else there.
Also, I'm looking at a wind chill chart for weather advisories from the National Weather Service Alaska region, and the lowest temperature they have on their chart with wind chill is 113, and it is firmly at the heart of a zone in which you get frostbite in 2 minutes or less.
Goodness. So just be aware, like, if you are ever stripped of your coat, do not go out into the thing. Yeah, no, but I mean, this is a magical winter. Like, you have to admit, there's a reason why there's really only adventurers traveling out into the tundra, because nobody else is crazy enough or strong enough to even survive. Most of the commoners would go out and die. And so outside of following along the roads where just the, maybe the presence of Oral's magic is a little bit less, maybe just that, she finds more strength in just the dead of winter than she does in places of life. Still, it's getting worse out there. You've noticed a shift. And so just be aware of those as we go in. So we are in Bryn Shander now. Bryn Shander is, for our listeners out there joining us, or just as a recap, one of the largest, if not the largest, one of 10 towns. It is where the Speakers Council is going to be held, which is still coming up in a few weeks. We will say it is 11 days out.
That is a week and a day.
Yes.
In this
it is just over 1 week, because we go by 10 days.
So we're going to have to go find the cabin and then leg it back to Bryn Shander to get Del here in time.
Pretty much. Otherwise, Granny Olivessa will take his spot, and you'll miss that encounter. So if things go bad in the cabin, because we've already where the council, the Speakers Council, is coming up, and so given everything you've done, this is something that we'll say will begin in 11 days. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna roll here. Roll 1d100. No, 1d45. 21 days out.
Okay.
So
21 days out for what? For Levi's expiration?
No, Levi's expiration is 26 days out, correct, Levi? Because you spent an extra day there in Tourmaline?
Yep.
So very close. The Speaker's Council and Levi's expiration will come up pretty quickly.
We just wanted to
So the
eliminate
Speaker's
all of
Council
the
is 21
speakers.
days out now.
Yeah, Speaker's Council is not
Okay, got it.
11 days.
If healing Levi goes horribly wrong and we just decide to nuke 10 towns, we could just... 2 birds with 1 stone over there.
Just leave Levi there in the
Goodness.
middle of the council.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, we brought you a gift. Good luck.
All right.
See how many speakers it takes to solve Levi's issue.
Probably murder all the town leadership. Which I guess is a good way for you guys to insert yourselves into more towns as their speakers.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we're here in Bryn Shander. Just as a reminder here, Bryn Shander being one of the larger towns is fully encompassed with a large wall. The wall is wooden in nature. It's 30 feet high and is defined by 2 concentric rings. Concentric rings. Sorry, of upright wooden poles. The gap between them is filled with dirt and rubble, so it's a really sizable wall. Let's see. You guys approached Bryn Shander last night as the gates were closing. You were able to get in just in time. And so the gates have closed for the night. You are in Bryn Shander, and you now must find a place to stay. The Northlook is a place that you can stay to pay for. You could also try to find another place to stay. You are both.
I bet Gans has a room we could use.
Gans.
Where's that place for the talking fish?
Oh, Gans, yeah. The talking fish. That is the Northlook.
We did eat there, and I think we stayed there last time we were here.
I think we did.
I don't think we even spent a night the last time we came here.
You did not spend a night.
We did not.
Through. You passed through on your way to Lonelywood, I believe.
I remember the singing fish.
Yeah. Could we see how much the rooms cost?
Of course.
I would like to do that.
All right. The comfort level of Bryn Shander is a 3, so it's a bit, the Bryn Shander being a larger city, a bit more better conditions, but also at the same time a bit more price. Not as crazily overpriced, however, as Tourmaline. And so, if I look at my handy dandy sheet of so many fucking prices, there are just too many to try to find. Where are the average cost of an inn? Let's just go with this. Gonna be 5 silver a night. Here we go. Inn prices. A room. Modest. Let's see. It's gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna say it's 2 silver pieces a night per person.
And it comes with a meal?
It does not come with a meal. However, with the 2 silver pieces, you are allowed to have 1 room per 2 individuals. So while you were paying almost a gold for 1 room in the last house, you are now paying almost a gold for 2 rooms at the Northlook. And that is a per night thing for as long as many nights as you want to.
Right. That math don't add up, son. You said it's a 2 silver a night, and we could put 2 people per room?
2 silver per person a night. And you
but there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, so you can have up to 2 people a room. So you're kind of looking at it like 4 silver.
Wait, we have to pay 4 silver even if we share a room?
Yes.
This is highway robbery. I'm sleeping somewhere else.
It is a per person deal. It is not a per room deal.
the per room is more of like a consumer protection thing, so they don't have 18 people in a room.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. In that case, we'll pay 2 silvers and we'll take 4 rooms.
It doesn't work that way. You don't get you only get beds, and sometimes you're put into beds with random strangers.
This place sucks.
This place is the worst.
So
Is
it's
this a
just
fucking-
two.
is this
It's
an-
2 silver per bed, 2 beds per room.
It is.
Is this an inn or a fucking hostel?
It is known as the rowdiest and most dangerous place to stay in Bryn Shander.
You should have led with that. We're not staying here.
I mean,
I'm gonna straight up ask the person who works the front desk. Yeah, so where are the other like taverns? Like where else could we stay if we wanted something that doesn't suck?
Although I may come back here because Levi's itching for a scrap, so...
she kind of just like looks at you and she's like, "What? Am I too dangerous for you? Your dainty little hands need someplace a bit better to stay."
If that makes you feel better about yourself, we'll say yes, but no, it's your terrible business practices and your prices, lady.
Whatever. Don't want to hear about it, and I really don't want to deal with the kind of negative attitude that you're bringing into our establishment. So let me just open my book of random places and find a location for you. Here we go. Yeah, there's a place called the Wounded Rogue that seems like it'd be up your alley, and it's just to the south of town. It is a pretty big shithole though, so best of luck.
All right, thanks. I'm gonna leave.
Levi notes where this place is, and he's going to come back and have himself a scrap later.
Before they leave, she's gonna go up to, or Rosemary's gonna go up to the same lady who Dale just asked for the next inn or tavern. She's like, "Is there a hospital in town?"
A hospital? I don't really know what that is.
Is there a doctor in town? A healer?
A healer? I suppose you can go ask the crazy lady that's at the House of the Morning Lord. But really, people here just kind of deal with that on their own, and they don't ask the tavern keeper where they can deal with their bruises and boo-boos.
You are a very unpleasant woman, but I hope you have a lovely night regardless. And I will go and follow my friends.
All right.
There's the Wounded
Before
Rogue.
I leave,
It's that building over
so I'm
there.
going to walk off in a huff, but just stand by the front door and wait for everyone else.
Okay.
After everybody else leaves, so I'm gonna pull out the Pearl of Power.
Okay. Okay, wait. Okay, so you unattuned yourself in the Pearl Power, remember?
Correct.
Okay. The Pearl Power was a cursed item, but go on.
I'm gonna very carefully not touch the Pearl of Power.
Okay.
I'm going to use my invisible mage hand,
Okay.
and I want to press it against her skin.
Oh my god!
What? Okay, wait. Okay, so one, okay, I just want to say over the table, this is not going to count as like a, as like her attuning to it.
I'm gonna try anyway. I don't care.
You.
I don't know the nature of curses.
So
I touched that shit and I
you
became cursed.
It's true. It's true.
I don't think I ever actually attuned to it, to be honest.
Actually, let me confirm here. We were in Goodmead whenever you found this, right?
Yeah, it was in
Okay,
Goodmead.
Let me go because yes, you're right. I do remember now that it's not actually, it's whoever took the item. Here we go.
Well, we found it in the cave.
We found it in a tomb.
It's in the.
Yeah, that's what I
it's in
meant.
the
Well, the tomb was in the cave.
Let's see. It's anybody who removes it. Okay. You know, yes, I believe it. It will.
It's fine if it doesn't work, but Dell's gonna try it anyway.
So she immediately just like you touch the Pearl Power, and she's like, "What are you even doing?"
No, like I walked away. I'm not.
Oh, that's right, because you used your mage hand. My bad. She kind of just looks at it and she's like, "What even is this?" Oh, this is really beautiful. She picks it up. Oh, this is
No,
nice.
I'm not. I'm using the mage hand to like press it against like the back of her neck, and then I'm taking it. I'm not just giving it to her.
Okay, fine.
You're probably gonna see a floating pearl when it like after it touches her.
She like gets touched the back of the neck. She's like, "What is that? What is that?" And she looks and she just sees this pearl just like kind of float away, and she's just like, "Whatever."
Cha, am I right? All right, I wrap the pearl back up in its little sacred hanky, and I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
And I'm gonna feel better about that whole encounter.
Beta, as he's walking, waves to her and goes, "So long, Aubrey. I guess I'm staying somewhere else this time."
Bye, Bitty. I'll see you later. Don't forget, you always have a free room here.
Appreciate it.
He's just had a free room this whole time, and we're arguing over prices.
Yeah, but it's only for Biddy though, because
it's only for Biddy.
Yeah, Aubrey really does enjoy. I'm sorry, gonna make a note here. Aubrey. What is her last name, Biddy?
Plaza.
Plaza?
Yes.
Excellent opportunity. I hope Aubrey Plaza, if you are out there and you watch our D&D, please like and subscribe.
God.
And just know
And
that
also
you're the best. You're just wonderful. You're the
really
greatest.
real.
are.
Also,
Well,
just
then
come
I
do a
love
guest
you.
spot really quick.
I don't think there's ever been a movie that I've ever seen with Aubrey Plaza in it where her role has been anything less than perfection.
This
Can
is true.
confirm.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if like we had like 5 viewers and one of them was Aubrey Plaza? I would die.
She's just
I would
sitting there,
literally
just
die.
like halfway with a bite of like ramen noodles to her mouth, and just like, what
oh
the
shit, I've been
fuck?
had.
What are the odds?
I've been discovered.
Yeah. She's just like, well, they'll never know.
My one escape from like superstardom.
Her viewer name is like the Plaza of Aubrey. They'll probably
Her
never.
viewer name is definitely not Aubrey Plaza.
They'll never put it together anyways. Just goes back to eating her knucklehead trout. Anyways, so you guys leave the Northlook and are looking to find another place to stay. It is late at night, by the way. Most of the good folk of Bryn Shander have made their way into their homes to go to bed, and you guys are just wandering through town with your sled and your not kobolds, and your dogs and your capybaras and just a bunch of crap. You guys just have a bunch of stuff.
Puffin.
Just carrying a bunch of stuff with you. Now, where's your puffin? Is it with you? Or is it flying above? Like, what kind of?
She's riding my shoulder.
Okay, all right. So, unless you say otherwise, the familiar is with you at most times.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, good luck to you all on your individual finding a place to stay tonight. I'm just gonna go crash with Gans, probably.
Who is Gans?
Oh, he runs the gyro shop. We're friends.
He runs the I sell things here.
Which he also sells gyros.
Yes, he sells things. Those things include one of the best gyro stands in all of Bryn Shander.
The best.
Nice.
Also the only, but nobody really disputes that fact.
But yeah.
Have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, except you always do things I wouldn't do, so that doesn't matter.
I promise you nothing, and then I leave.
I expected no less.
Do.
All right. Del Nodger's going to go to I sell things here. What is everyone else doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to the Wounded Rogue.
The Wounded Rogue is a possibility. The House of the Morning Lord, which is a temple, may also have a chance of having some rooms, potentially. Especially for those that devote.
Is the Dragon's Hide like a magic shop?
No, it's an armorer.
That's right.
That's where my sword is.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Levi's just gonna turn around and go back into the Northlook.
My goodness. Is the is the Morning Lord like simpatico with the Oak Father, or like Sylvanas?
That is definitely not something I would know off the top of my head, just because I am a DM with very little Faerun knowledge of D&D. However, I mean, the Oak Father is generally a good, if not neutral, god.
I think so, yeah.
Let me just look at Lathander real quick, because that's who technically Amandur is. Amanator. Some see him as the neutral good aspect of Amanator. However, they are considered separate deities since the Second Sundering.
Okay.
Let's see.
So are they the same person in some mythology?
Amanator is the Netherese. This is all out of character. The Netherese, solar deity of order. Blah 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 blah. He was reviewed as harsh but a fair deity by some of the wizards in Nethril. However, following the spell plague, Lathander, the Faerunian god of sun, was an aspect of the long dormant Amanator. Okay, so they're kind of interchangeable, although it seems that they were different at one time, and now because of the way that like worship is dealt, they're kind of just similar. Let's see. His allies included Gun, Tamora, Tyr, Torm, Iltersun, Saloon, Ogma, Kellamore. Saloon is Selene, sorry. Selene is potentially allied with the Oak Father.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything in here where they really overlap, though.
Okay. And just as long as it's not like you can't stay here because you worship a tree.
I think Levi would go to the House of the Morning Lord.
Yeah, Rosemary's gonna go with him then.
Yeah, I definitely think like nobody's gonna be like, oh, you're evil or your thing, but they're also gonna like look. Okay, so other allies of Sylvanas included Shantae and Lathander. So yeah, there you go.
Shantae, you stay.
So yes, it is said that the person there at the Morning Lord, if you displayed any symbols of Lathander, would recognize you as an ally because Sylvanas benefits from the light of Lathander. There we go.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It's kind of like they may look down at you. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, Dell, did you keep all the letters, or did we split the letters, or what's the deal?
You guys kept the pertinent ones, and you made charcoal out of the other ones.
Right, but one of the ones that's pertinent has everything to do with the Morning Lord. House of the Morning Lord.
I suppose, yeah, Del Nadre kept that. So all you know is...
if you want to take that letter, Del Nadre says, because he hasn't left yet, that's fine here. I'm going to take that crystal, though. I'm just going to start digging in Levi's pouch.
Levi's like, he stops Del and he's like, listen, I'm going to hold on to this because I'm going to the place where it's important. And if you're going to go hang around in a Euro shop, I have no interest in you getting your smelly meat juice all over this crystal.
You don't even know if it's important.
Why would it not be important?
Fine.
You can come meet us over at the House of the Morning Lord when you're done eating euros.
Yeah, you can come meet us in the House of the Morning Lord in the morning.
In the Morning Lord.
Morning.
Good Lord, it's morning. And then yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then I leave again.
Okay. And so I guess Bita, where are you going?
I mean, Beta typically stays there. He's always found Aubrey to be like super chill, but he also typically comes in covered in blood and dressed as a yeti, which is an aesthetic that she's like, wow, that's cool. So they just kind of get along through the lack of expectations and just joy of weirdness. But she'll just kind of follow along with Rosie and go where she wants to go. And, we can also follow up the lead about the Morning Lord while we're there. So, two birds.
Yeah. Have y'all told us about that lead, or are you just like, is that
I
just
assume
something
I assume we talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't commenting on it just because I wasn't sure if Rosemary would know about it.
Levi's not in the nature of keeping secrets, except for like big ones that have to do with his own life.
That's valid.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, like, in the moment of things being discovered, if it hasn't been discussed, it isn't something your character has knowledge of. But given that we've had time to travel, you guys, unless you specifically kind of make a mention that things are kept to you, share things that you found. So
yeah,
so yeah, Bree, you're Rosemary. You are generally aware that there is an individual named Copper that you were trying to inquire more from at the House of the Morning Lord. You were also aware that there are some individuals who have wanted to figure out this distress signal that are inside the Morning Lord as well. You don't really know. You guys probably know their names, but that's you didn't. It's not like a Copper, You just have you have the letter basically to be like, hey, I have this letter. Somebody described this, and we're trying to find out who was here. That has to do with that.
To be fair, we don't actually know that Copper is at the House of the Morning Lord.
That's true.
We know that it's a gnome in Bryn Shander. And then just the word Copper.
This is the House of the Morning Lord is the lead that we got about the whispers, right?
Yeah, people hearing weird noises, 250 gold if anyone can help at the House of the Morning Lord.
Yeah, my bad. I got that mixed up. So yes. Not to say you couldn't inquire
I guess we
about
go
Copper while at the House of the Morning Lord.
That's the one. I plan on doing that.
All right. Okay, so Del Nadre, you're going to I sell things here. Everyone else is going to the House of the Morning Lord. Is this correct?
I believe so. Yes.
I believe so. Yes.
All right. Del, your interaction isn't as important as everything else, so we're gonna save yours as a quick wrap up afterwards. But we're gonna stick to the other people first. Sorry, I don't mean to belittle you, but the rest
That's
of the part...
fine. As the rogue, I usually lead from behind.
All right. So, everyone else, you approach the House of the Morning Lord just as shit. I just went away from there. Just as the a human. A human in priestly gear is closing up the shop. She kind of closes the door and turns, and she's like, "Oh, hello. We're a bit closed for the day. Can I help you? Maybe you can come back tomorrow and worship."
Out there.
What?
I think he's
Levi-
talking to his partner.
Okay.
Levi holds out his hand and he says, "I'm Levi Corvallis, and I am devout, and I'm here to help you with your whispers."
She kind of just looks at you, and she's like, looks to Rosemary, looks back to Levi, looks up at Bitte, and just kind of gulps. And she's just like, I just want to let you know that we don't actually accept any tithes here at the House of the Morning Lord, so there is no money for you to steal.
We are not here to steal. I wouldn't ever steal anything from anyone. That is a despicable act, one which I chastise someone who likes to steal all the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We were under the impression potentially that there might be rooms here, and also that we had some potential information or were able to help with an issue that you have been having. Or that someone has been having at the House of the Morning Lord? This is the House of the Morning Lord, right?
It is, yes. I don't believe I've ever asked any questions or asked for any assistance of whispers. However, Now that you speak of it, I do know of a few individuals who have been staying with us. They don't actually stay here. The only person who stays here is Copper, but these other individuals come every day. They say they're meeting people, but nobody's ever shown up for them. So is that who you're looking for? They mentioned whispers, but well, between you and me, they're not really devout, so I don't really pay them much attention.
Levi just opens the letter and he points at it and he says, "We're looking for Copper."
Well, Copper's never mentioned any whispers, but he does rent a room. He rents a room here, and he assists. Does chores. He's kind of a pain in the ass. Sorry. He's kind of a pain in the butt, and but he does his job well. So the Northlook is kind of a dangerous place to stay. And the other taverns here in Bryn Shander aren't the best either.
Could we rent a room for the night and try to figure this out in the morning?
Oh, no. We don't actually rent rooms. However, you may assist for a period of about at least 1 week in order to acquire a room. Although we
How about this?
2 weeks.
Can we acquire a room, and in return, we will help you with this problem that you've been having with the individuals who are experiencing psychic whispers?
I don't know anything about the psychic whispers, and I want to really say we have not had any problems with them. They're very they come every day. They pay their tithe. I'm sorry, they don't pay their tithe. They offer their donation, which we then provide to Bryn Shander as part of the donation to Oral, or the sacrifice to Oral, and they kind of just sit around all day. I really don't have a problem with them.
Levi holds a letter out in front of him. He says, "I hear there's a 250 gold reward for our help. Do you want our help or not?"
I have heard that they are putting that up. However, I just want to once again just state that.
Who is they?
They are
the people.
They are the individuals who are doing that. I know there's Veda, and Nars, Telvaster, and Casca.
And where do they stay when they are not here?
I really don't know. Unfortunately, that's not really part of my purview on figuring out who they are, beyond the fact that they hang out every day.
May I ask you a question?
I believe you've asked me multiple already, but sure, ask me another one.
May I ask you 2 questions, including the question that I'm currently asking you?
If you ever get to the question, then sure.
Do you always gatekeep your temples?
Yes, we do prefer that people don't mess things up in the middle of the night whenever the priest of the temple is not there. It's just common courtesy that we don't leave it open to everybody.
That makes sense, actually.
In theory, yes, but it doesn't really make sense that the temple of the Morning Lord would turn people away in the night when they're seeking refuge.
Well, as you see, Amantor does not actually shine his light at night, and therefore he offers discretion to his priests to deal with how we, kind of care for the temples at night. So it really is up to my purview, and I really don't prefer to leave the temple just open to everybody at night.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Amantor doesn't seem to be shining much of his light at all these days.
God's not looking, so I don't have to be pious.
To be fair, the piety of the people of 10 towns does not prevent Amantor from trying to shine his brightness upon here. It is not our fault that Oral is just being a bit more of a bitch when it comes to who gets to see sunlight.
Your cursing is not very pious of you.
Well, it's been a very stressing time. 2 years here I've been here, ever since the start of the everlasting winter, and it has been a long and strenuous task to keep up with the temple.
I think we're just all on the wrong foot here. Would you have any suggestion of where we could go to rent a room, and then we can all meet back here in the morning Lord's light and figure this out?
I don't mean to be coarse, but unfortunately, I'm not a tour guide of Bryn Shander. I would really prefer it if you asked somebody else these meaningless questions. That came off really rude. But we're
The
sticking
sun
with
goes down and everyone in Bryn Shander turns into an asshole.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Be-
I'm
he's
just
just gonna,
following
like,
on the
tap
theme
along.
of 10 Towns is everyone's a dick because they've had 2 years of just really cold temperature that their spirits just aren't uplifted, and anybody who has uplifted spirits is using some kind of drug.
Levi loses his fucking shit. He steps into this woman and he puts his finger in her face and he says, "We have traveled all fucking day. We have been looking around. Everyone is asleep. Tell us where the fuck to go."
She kind of just like steps back and she's like, "Ugh,
"We are travelers. We are not from Brinchender, and we have simply asked you for assistance."
I thought you all had the light of this. I can't deal with you anymore," and just kind of like goes to close the door and is like just recoiling from this aggression from Levi, even though it's not really aggression. She's just kind of being a little baby about it. And
Levi sticks his foot in the door frame.
he's like, and you hear this gnome's voice call out, "Miss Shan, what's going on down there? What's happening?" It's nobody. It's just a couple of, well, I guess they're looking for those people who keep calm about the whispers. But I mean, you don't know nothing about them anymore. And you hear a copper kind of shout down, "Yeah, I don't know shit about them. Those annoying little people. I don't just get them to go gone. I want to go tonight. It's sleepy time."
Wanna go tonight?
Right. Sleepy time.
Fuck. I forgot the words there.
A 3-year-old child comes walking down the stairs.
It's like we're fucking
Tell him to
harassing.
fuck off. I want to go tonight.
We're harassing a single mother. Like,
Beta steps
Jesus.
forward and puts a hand on Levi's shoulder and says, "Levi, come on, let's go. The gods are hollow constructs and faith is a crutch. Let's go."
The woman,
Levi turns
the
and
Shine is just like, "What?"
Rosemary's like, may Sylvanus give you his blessing. Sorry. Have a good night. And then she'll try to help Vite get Levi to chill.
You hear her, Rosemary, you hear her mutter under their breath, "Goddamn tree huggers."
Beta goes, "I don't mean any offense by this. I mean, the belief is a wonderful power. It gives hope to many. I have no disdain for it. I'm just telling him that, just because someone claims to be a part of a religion doesn't mean they're going to uphold any particular moral values. They're just going to be people as good or bad as they naturally are."
I take that as an offense, sir. It seems
Well,
like
if
you're
you feel
saying
that your actions
I
put you
don't believe
in that, then
I don't
you
believe Amantor is running an inn. That's all I'm saying. There's the Wounded Rogue, and there's the North Look, and there's a number of other taverns in town, and they're fairly easy to find for somebody who has a brain.
Yes. And
I'm just saying we're a lot nicer to visitors in Kuldahar. Anyway, let's go find a place to sleep.
Goddamn tree huggers.
Yeah, at least we hug something.
Yeah, a tree to hug. Go on, if you would like to visit the House of the Morning Lord, please come back to our normal hours. I already stayed late, and I didn't need people trying to bust in. I do apologize if I've been very terse or short with you all, but it is past Copper's bedtime, and he gets really cranky, and I don't need to deal with his shit tomorrow. And you hear Copper from the back, "Yeah, that's right, I do get cranky. Now get out of here."
if you truly aimed to end this conversation in a good way, you would have just given us a recommendation for a tavern and we would have been on our way. Goodbye.
All right.
Rosemary makes some good berries and offers one to Levi.
All right, so
He
guys
eats one.
leaving the House of the Morning Lord, unable to figure out any more other than that the people who've been hearing the psychic whispers go there during the day, and that Copper does seem to have a room at the Morning Lord. So Del Nadre, very quickly, because we're trying to wrap thing up with our session here, what were you doing as you approached the I Sell Things here?
Uh-oh. Very quickly. Okay, I'm not trying to go to I Sell Things here at all.
Okay.
I'm trying to find that hobo woman.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, damn.
She is, you find her in right there where I put that little blue dot.
Oh, God. Oh, way down there. Okay.
Sorry, this is very... Zoom in here. Alright. So, the old hobo lady. This is, if y'all remember, there is an old hobo lady that you guys interact with very briefly. Whenever you first came to Bryn Shander. So you find the old hobo lady. She is kind of like huddled up on the side of the road, just in an alleyway. She has she's kind of just sitting there, not really as affected by the cold as others, and she's not pedaling or anything. She's just looking out and watching as you approach.
I'm just gonna sit down and talk with her for a while, see how she's doing.
Okay.
Tell her about my adventures, what I've been up to. Just kind of like, yeah. So we were out of town for a little bit, and we went up to Lonelywood, and there was some cool stuff going on there with like this awakened moose or something, and. I don't tell her anything about the druid or about the Kalashtar stuff.
Okay.
Then I tell her about...
Go on.
Oh, so then I tell her about Tourmaline and how it's like, everything's getting all like political all of a sudden. It's like everyone's caught up in each other's business. It's like Targos is, I don't know, just like they can't leave Tourmaline alone. There's like... this weird mercenary company or something that I guess people are hiring, and they're just everywhere.
So the old lady, whose name is Belladora. Sorry, it's actually Beldora, but it is now Belladora. She kind of just is listening, and she's like, okay, yeah. Let's it's getting a bit cold outside. How about let's step inside for a moment? And you and Beldora she just kind of like stands up she's been sitting on this door sill, and she just kind of stands up and turns around, opens the door behind her, and there's just a nice little apartment there. And she's like,
nice.
Come on in. Let's discuss more of your travels out from the cold.
I'm gonna head on in.
All right.
I thought she was a hobo woman.
Mystery.
This doesn't seem very hobo to me.
Look, you're not there.
I love how Dell's backstory is like so much intrigue, and Levi got, I'm about to die.
It's kind of like, honestly though, everybody's else backstory is so much intrigue, but you are about to die.
I love that.
Technically, my
I don't have
backstory
time
is
for
about-
intrigue.
We haven't covered.
Technically,
We haven't covered. Most
I mean,
of the
to be
backstory.
fair, there's plenty of things to be intrigued about in Levi's backstory.
yeah.
Yeah, like the
there's
fact
just
that
a
he's
lot of
dying.
stuff that only gets mentioned from like an over-the-table player narrative. Dell doesn't have anything to go based off of, but I'm just like, me as a player is sitting here like, this motherfucker's got dark vision. This guy apparently is from a kingdom. His dad has these like connections to these actors. Hang on a second.
Yeah. It's just like Levi's just like a enigma,
Yeah.
and meanwhile my backstory is just that I'm already dead.
Nice.
There's still a lot to learn
Levi's
about.
like, oh no, I'm gonna die, and Rosemary's like, I already died.
Like I've been dead my entire life.
Your entire life. Still living, but I'm dead though.
Meanwhile, Bite is just in the corner sipping a cup of tea like
It's like they don't
amateurs.
know I have a wife and children.
Actually, so are we? Sorry, are we going into the apartment or are we
No,
cutting it for the night?
You all are not where he is.
Yeah.
Did you have to go, Bree?
I think he's asking. I think Bita is asking narratively.
Oh, narratively, Bitte and you all, the rest of the group isn't aware of where Del Nadri is. So I assumed you are all going to the Wounded Rogue, where you will find a quaint little room that has one bed for one silver piece a night.
Nice.
And we will be getting 3 of them.
They only have one bed available.
I will.
We just have the one bed, sir. Gestures towards a very large bed in the middle of the room that already has like 30 people sleeping on it.
Okay, Rosemary can sleep on the floor, and she'll use the capybaras as pillows.
So yes. Bitte, did you have something to add?
No, I had an idea for a cliffhanger, but I think I'm gonna hold on to it.
All right. Well, this is a good point for us to end our session without a cliffhanger then. Knowing that we will start next session off with a cliffhanger when Bitte decides to share with us what it is.
Well, actually, hang on. I can ask this without giving away much. Corey, cliffhanger, intrigue about person he knows.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this. Okay, go on.
Should he cliffhanger, yes or no?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And yes, this is normally stuff that should be coordinated before the session.
I would say that the building in question, where the person of intrigue is on the way to the Wounded Rogue. So it is up to you.
Do it.
Okay, fuck it, yeah.
Okay.
So as they're on their way to the Wounded Rogue, Beta is gonna stop and he's gonna kind of look over his shoulder, and then he's gonna say, "Hey, why don't you all go ahead? I'm going to just walk and clear my head for a little bit, and then I've got my free room over at the North Watch, so I'll meet you at the Wounded Rogue at dawn."
Just be safe, okay?
Yes, of course. Have a good sleep.
I may meet you at the North Look later this evening. I just really need to let some aggression out.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there.
Rosemary gives him a big hug before heading over to the Wounded Rogue.
All right.
Levi goes with her.
So you guys, Levi and Rosemary, continue on down the main little road to the southwest out of town. It kind of just leaves you guys right there in the middle of the town, just out there, and you guys continue on down towards the Wounded Rogue. And that is where we will end our session. Unless, Bitte, did you have more to add to your intrigue?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
Beta is going to he's going to go and he's going to walk a few blocks. Or I'm not looking at the map, so I'm assuming a few blocks.
Yeah, a few blocks to the south. Yeah.
And he's going to come to the back door of the speaker's house and knock a couple of times. And when the door is answered, he is going to say, "Warm bed for a weary traveler." And that's the cliffhanger.
Or he's just like, "Oh, I thought you were talking about a completely different house. Okay, now I know where you're going with this."
No, yeah. Okay, so we have our compatriots are spread across Bryn Shander. Ooh, better hope nothing happens in the middle of the night.
Consider your clips hung.
Dun dun dun. And we are Everybody's a Mimic. I hope you guys have enjoyed session 14 of our actual play webcast of Icewind Dale, Rime with the Frostmaiden. We've officially made it into chapter 2. Yay!
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 Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! That does mean that we are moving forward. It only took us a year to get from chapter 1 to 2. We will see how well we progress on this. By the time we finish Icewind Dale of Rime of the Frostmaiden, it will be 6th edition, and we'll no longer be playing a 5th edition actual play podcast. But in the meantime, we are Everybody's a Mimic. You can find more information about our project, although slightly outdated, on our WordPress website at everybodysamimic.wordpress.com. You can also like and subscribe and follow our webcast project and group on Twitch, where you are hopefully listening, or on YouTube. Both of them, just search Everybody's a Mimic and look for that mimic symbol. I am Corey, your Dungeon Master. I was joined today by our wonderful adventuring group. Bitte, played by
Carson.
Del Nadre, played by
Blake, your Dungeon Master.
Okay. God damn it.
Different.
Rosemary.
Different. Yeah.
Rosemary, played by
Ray.
And Levi, played by
Ben, also your Dungeon Master.
God damn it. Okay, and we are the 3 Dungeon Masters and 2 players group known as Everybody's a Mimic.
Mine doesn't have anything to do with D&D.
Oh, God.
Me neither.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Amantor. Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
Love you, bye.